Warren Hughes, CEO of Great Gal in the Manga Cup Afrofuturism manga series, Bold Saga. Welcome back to another live. Welcome back to another video. So excited that you're here. And just letting you know that we are also live streaming again on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, share this live out. Let's get the word out because this right here is going to be an amazing topic. And I'll give you guys a couple moments just to join. And just letting you know, this is going to be great. Concrete Eden, thank you so much for joining, King. I'm super excited, man, because it's like, oh, love your shoes, love your content, you're amazing. We're talking about BCICF, and we're talking about the power of word of mouth. I love words. I love, like, as a Christian, knowing the power of words and how you can speak life is critical. But just seeing just how this event happened this week and how I'm getting there because of that, it's a blessing. So BCICF, what is that? And what does this even have to do with the power of words, the power of word of mouth? How does that even connect? Um, so, if you are new to this channel, you may not know this, but I love books. I love books so much that I created a book and I called it Bold Saga, and we have an entire series available. Chapter 1 is The Destiny Gate, and on the cover is Masego and Shinedu. And then by chapter 2, we have Boost. There's Masego again. Chapter 3 is a new terror, new enemies in the area, and now it's Masego on the cover. Chapter 3 is called Trial by Fire, and then chapter 4 is called Reinforcements. It's a back and forth of being as which is the best chapter, honestly. The Melanites comics, thank you so much for joining, and check them out on IG, the_Melanite_comics. If you're watching on Facebook as well, leave a comment, leave a like, share this out. Let's get the word out. AB Career Match, thank you so much for joining. And I just even realized it because I've made these books. These are manga, these are comics, but these can literally be considered as children's books. And the reason why it's so critical, power of word of mouth, BCICF, how this even ties in is that when you create a book that empowers people, it changes lives because a great gala goal is to empower kings and queens to seize greatness. So much so, it's even on the business cards. It's all about empowering, not just motivating you, but empowering you so that you can go out and do and be and have everything that God has for you. So, the reason why this ties back into children's book is that when you empower a child, you change the course of their life. Like I remember when I watched Pokemon as a kid, to this day, I still remember the song, I Wanna Be the Very Best, that no one ever was. That right there alone is a bar. Why? Because it's critical. If you want to achieve greatness, you've got to put in more than everyone else is doing. If they're giving 70 and 80%, give 100, give 120%. Go all out to achieve the dream and the goal that God has given you. So when you impact the child's life from when they're young, you change the trajectory of their life and you can take them to higher levels or you can bring them down lower. So this is why when we created Bold Saga, it's literally truly for all ages, but our age is around 10 and up. Because of the fact that when you are a young king, a young queen, and all you're exposed to is Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and all these other stories, they may not, no, they won't authentically represent your culture. I'm telling you this because I've watched these series. Generally, manga and media doesn't always authentically African culture authentically, whether it's the nations within Africa or the diaspora as a whole. That's my dog Oliver. He's excited too. So the reason why that matters is that if they won't respect your culture, we need to rewrite the narrative. That's what I love what Ayize Jama Everett had on his shirt. He had a shirt that said, at a table of our own. We need to create our own tables and we need to have our own creations. We need to be prosumers, not just consumers of content, but prosumers. We know that the wealth, the black dollar's wealth is in the trillions. At the end of the day, we need to get to the point where we're spending more and supporting our own, supporting people like Concrete Eden, like the Melanite Comics, AB Career Match, all these amazing creators, all these amazing entrepreneurs who are going on and rewriting the narrative. And this ties back into what we've been talking about today. So, what is BCICF? But before we get to that, please like, comment, subscribe, share this live, get the word out, let everyone know. And if you're on IG, share the live out, let everybody know we're talking about BCICF and what is the power of words. Well, really, to get to BCICF, the power of words is the power of word of mouth. The power of word of mouth still to this day is one of the best ways to get your word out on your product, on whatever it is that you do, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whatever it is that you're doing. Word of mouth is critical. It's so important. It's so important. So what happened is I was looking for more events to get Bold Saga out because as much as I love being on live and it's an amazing thing, to be truly transparent, I love being in person even more. Because when I can talk to someone face to face, a young king, a young queen, and their family members and explain just how amazing this story is, it's always magnificent. It's always incredible. So I was looking for more events. And me and my wife were talking about that, and I was like, I need to find more events. So while I was on live and I was talking to someone, I believe it was Calvin. He is at Canadics. His other name is Canadics. That's his business or creator name, and his product is Icarus Metro. And I was having a conversation with him, and he said he was going to DreamCon, and it was awesome. And I was like, I joined his live. That's what it is. I was following him on IG, and I joined his live. And yeah, Calvin Chambers, and he was talking, and he mentioned that DreamCon is coming up, and I had applied for DreamCon, and truth be told, even though I applied, they said no, which is fine. You know, they have their prerogatives, they have their choices. I'll just keep applying until I get in. I love DreamCon and what it stands for. So I was talking to him, and he was mentioning other events, and he was like, "Look, if you're in the area, come to Boston Comics in Color Festival." And I was like, "Interesting." I looked it up. I looked at the art style. I was like, "This is exactly what I'm looking for. Exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an event where I can showcase authentic Black excellence in manga at an event where that is the target audience. That's the people that are coming there." I even look at their logo. It's literally red, black, green, and yellow. Like if you look at the artwork, it's by Zero Snake. Like I remember him because I was on Black Sands's the BSP app. And I remember that he had this manga called Unrivaled. Check it out. If you're looking for a dope manga, check out Unrivaled. So I saw the artwork. I was familiar with it. I was like, I have to be there. I saw the fact that just what it's about, I just had to be there. So I signed up, and thank God I was able to get in. So this is the power of words and the power of word of mouth. See, what you speak out of your mouth is what's going to shape the narrative of your life. Smitty the Goat, thank you so much for joining. This is why I love the power of words, the power of word of mouth. You have to speak the life that you want. If, as my mentor says, if you don't like the outputs of your life, change the inputs. If you don't like where you are with whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's a product or a service, change the input, change how you're speaking about life, change how you're thinking about life, and that's how you change the narrative, and that's how you're able to rewrite the narrative in your life. Because as soon as I said I want to have more events and I want to get in person more often, because most of the times when I've showcased Bold Saga, it's been digital. Ever since what happened in 2020, it's been all five of the VirtuousCon events. I love VirtuousCon. I believe I've been to two Afro Comic Cons as well as two or three pop-up shop shows. So it's been mostly digital until JS Self Care had How to Save a Life. I've been to those events. So had that, was able to go to the events, and as soon as I went to the events, I noticed I'm able to even tell people the last commit. Thank you so much for joining. Gonna be Yogi, thank you so much for joining. It's just amazing because of the fact once I was able to speak to someone in person, be able to talk to them like face to face, like I'm on this live right now, face to face, and explain just what Bold Saga is about, just what Great Gale stands for. It's just magnificent. And I just love it. I'm trying to get to as many in person events as possible. So, again, this is the power of word of mouth. If you know any amazing black manga, black comic, black any type of event that celebrates authentic black excellence, and they showcase comics as well. You can leave it in the comments, you can leave it in the chat, whatever. You can DM me. That's the power of word of mouth. Because if you know something that can be helpful, I can know something that can be helpful for you. And then this is how not just the power of words, but also networking works as well. Because no man truly is an island. Ironically, I was born on an island, but no man is an island and no one knows everything. You have to be put in places where you aren't the smartest at the top of the, not even just the ladder. You don't want to be in a place where you're the best of the best. You want to be in a place where you are amazing and there's people that are even doing better than you so you can glean and learn from them. You know, that way you can grow. That way you can actually expand. You know, they say that the mind once it expands, it never returns back to the place that it used to be. This is why I'm so critical on reading. And I'm so critical on networking and speaking and talking, because your communication, I mean, I know we think that the mentality is if I work harder, if I grind harder, if I get 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 jobs, I can make more. But the reality is what no one really tells us, but my mentor mentioned this, is that if you want to make more wealth, you have to learn to speak better. Communication is key. This is why I love reading books, because the more you read, the more you expand your mindset, the more you expand your vocabulary, the more you expand your actual access to assets. Because at the end of the day, a book allows you to collapse decades into days. Like, I literally have a book right here my dad gave me, which I'm going to go through. Look at this. Operations Management. It's the power of books. You can have someone in their entire life explain everything that they went through and show you how to do what it is. And my dad's an entrepreneur. That's why I have that book as well. I went to business school. You can, by just reading a book, watching a course, watching a podcast, get access to years worth of knowledge. Books, to a degree, are almost like video games. It's almost like when someone said, I don't play video games because I like entertainment and I don't have one life. I've lived many lives. It's the same thing when I read a book, because you're getting the ability to experience what someone went through, and they're there to help you. Last year I did just about 52 books. Most of them were like self-help books, the others were manga, but they're still books nonetheless. Reading is critical, reading is key. Daily Forex Fanatics, thanks for joining. And I encourage you, kings and queens, get to power of the word of mouth. Speak the life that you want, but also use word of mouth. Find ways that people can talk about what it is that you're doing, whether it's through actually empowering people, encouraging people. Another method that people may not like, but it is true, is controversy, when you can use it to your advantage. And not controversy as mudslinging against people, but controversy against ideologies and things that are not beneficial for you. I recently had two interviews these last couple of days. The Tall Cosplayer, thank you so much for joining. Had an interview with Anime X Relatable. Check them out. They are awesome. They're doing how manga intersects with Christianity, and it's just amazing. You just have to check them out. They're awesome. As well as the Geek Salad podcast. Love it. GJ and REA had an amazing talk, as well as Eli from Anime X Relatable. So throughout all of this, I mentioned when I was talking about marketing, one of my mentors says, if you want to grow your business, one of the best things you can do is, if you're quote unquote in a bar, metaphorically, digital or physical space, have a controversial opinion and share it with someone who doesn't even like you. And what that does is that allows you to spark conversation, that allows you to spark debate, as long as they're tolerable and they're not like bad-minded or some foolishness, and it doesn't devolve into nonsense. But if you can have a discussion with people about things that you think that are meaningful, and you can change the narrative, it changes everything for you. I remember one time I had a post where, again, this is power of word of mouth. Literally, I said, this is why we need BOLDSAGA, so your kings and queens can be exposed to more black excellence instead of whack excellence. And by whack excellence, I had Usopp. Whack excellence, I had Killer Bee. And on the other side, I had Masego and Shawnee from BOLDSAGA. You should have seen the comments, kings and queens. You should have seen the comments. People were going off. They were getting so mad, this, that, and the third. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. And the reason why it was funny to me is that people can get so caught up on digital, virtual people, characters, and stories that are literally mocking them. And they will want to stand up and defend those characters. Meanwhile, someone of your own ethnicity will make a story that will empower you, encourage you, and actually give you education in a story that's manga. And you'll be like, nah, because of the fact you came at my character wrong. Like, remember people saying, how dare you disrespect God Usopp? This, that, and the third, and not Killer B. That's my guy. He's always invited to the cookout. This is funny to me, because at the end of the day, these creators who made these characters do not have your best interest in heart. So this is why we need more discussions, more mangaka like Akachi Jones, more manga like Flip X Flop by Crazed Kai, more manga like Hunters of Illumis by Rain the Governor. Even as I mentioned earlier, Unrivaled by Zero Snake. AJ Artworks, thank you so much for joining. We need more creators that empower us and encourage us. We need more of that, because at the end of the day, if we don't, all we're going to keep getting is the more Killer Bees. You know, more Yoruichi. And if you got to the end of Bleach, you'll see what they did to her. You know, more characters like that made from the last the Lost Neverland. All these types of things. We don't need that type of energy. More Mr. Popos. Ain't nobody need more of that. We need more stories that empower us, encourage us, and inspire us to seize greatness. And that's what we did with Bold Saga. Because when you read the story, it's just like what B Minus TV said. This is a manga self-help book, a PMA book. At the end of the day, they did a study and they found out it's true. We think that our strength comes from our muscles, you know. We think that it's just physical, but strength is not physical. Strength comes from here. Your mind is where your strength derives from. What do I mean by that? If you're lifting weights and your body physically says I can't do anymore, but your mind says one more set, one more set, one more rep, you can overpower your body's ability to be tired and get it done. Now, don't overtax it and destroy yourself, but you can overpower things through the mind. Your strength is in the mind. So much so that, as well, you saw what happened in Naruto when my guy Lee was able to take off the gates in his mind, and then he was able to move much faster and become much stronger. Your mind is an untapped potential. Like, your imagination can literally create one idea. One idea can be dropped into your imagination that can make you a thousandaire, 100,000aire, millionaire, billionaire. You can't physically work your way to the top and make billions. But what you can do is get strategies, systems, go to events, network, and talk to people. And then what will happen is as you talk, as you communicate, as you imagine, on the highest levels of value, you'll be able to attract wealth. You'll be able to showcase wealth. So that's what's happening, and BCICF is this week. Oh my God, I'm so excited for that. Why am I so excited? Because it's an in-person comic convention. It's happening in Boston. It's going to be the 29th, and it's going to be from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you're in the Boston area, please come through and check it out. Or if you just want to come by and visit our table, we're going to be there. It's going to be magnificent because this is our second in-person manga comic convention. Oh my gosh, man. I've been dreaming about this for years. I've been trying to get to in-person events for years to vend, to sell, to showcase. Ever since what happened in 2020, it delayed me, but whatever. Thank you so much for joining. I'm just grateful because of the fact we're going to be at another event. And this is the second one. We have two more events after this. There's going to be Ekbach May 20th, and we have a book signing on I believe June 3rd. Yes. So that's going to be there from 1 to 3 p.m. Yeah, June 3rd, 1 to 3 p.m. Thank you so much for joining, Kings and Queens. I truly appreciate it. This is the power of networking. I was able to go to a book signing for one author, and then by speaking to someone that worked there, they put me in connection with the person who got me into that book signing. So at the end of the day, Kings and Queens, network. Talk to people. Nobody knows everything. And if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, share this out, get the word out because we are dropping so many gems. We're having so many amazing discussions that you can't afford to miss. So again, BCICF is happening. Can't wait for Ekbach. Look, man, Ekbach is going to be amazing. They're like the longest running Black comic convention. I think they started in 2003. I think this is their 20th one. It's just amazing to just be there in the presence of greatness. And just this week alone, I'm going to have another opportunity to be there at BCICF. What makes me so excited is not just the fact that I'm going, but I'm also going to be on a panel. I've been on a couple of virtual panels, but I haven't been on a physical panel. I've watched a lot. I was just at Black to the Future, the Afrofuturism panel at Schaumburg, just last, just this month actually. Yeah, just this month. I almost thought it was last month. It was amazing. It was amazing seeing Natasha Womack, Tim Fielder, Ayize Jama Everett, John Jennings, all these legends in Afrofuturism. And being in the room was great. Watching from the crowd, just being excited, it was amazing. Seeing these amazing creators that helped inspire me to become an Afrofuturist mangaka. Now being able to be on the stage and talking about stuff. Being on a panel is it's an honor. It truly is. And AJ Artworks said, can't wait for Ekbach. I can't wait either. It's gonna be amazing. Whatever basically says, let's see, just keep living. Thank you so much, King. I really appreciate that. It's just a journey, man. It's just a journey. It's not about just the end goal. It's the journey to reach the end goal, and that's why it's important. So at BCICF, which is Boston Comics in Color Festival, we are going to be on a panel, and the panel is, if you even go to their page, you can see it, under the 2023 schedule. We are going to go on at 2 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. And what we're going to be talking about at 2 o'clock is this: do it yourself publishing. Again, do it yourself publishing. Why is that incredible? Why is that amazing? What we talk about at Great Gale is empowering you to seize greatness, right? Well, one of the best ways to seize greatness, to hold on to greatness, to take it, not just asking someone, can you help me? Can you give me greatness? Poetry by LT, thank you so much for joining. You shouldn't live a life where you're asking for greatness. You should live a life where you're seizing greatness. Like my mentor says, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Wish you were better. Don't wish that things are going to get easier, because they're not. But what you can do is get better, though. You have control over that. You have control over how you react. You have control over what you say. You have control over how you think. And as one of my mentors mentioned, one of my favorite rappers, MC Jin, how you react determines how you overcome. See, you can either react in fear or faith. And AB career match, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You can either react in fear or faith. See, this is reality. You can either be like, oh my gosh, I have a manga. How am I going to sell it? People are buying this, that, and the third. Or you can react in faith. How can I sell it? Not just saying it isn't selling. How can I sell it? If I have a service, if I'm doing hair, if I'm being a barber, if I'm doing, business contracts, not it's not selling. How can I sell it? How? And that little change in words, that power of words, how you speak determines how you overcome. This is why I love reading dictionaries. I to the point I literally had to learn how to speak Eastern Elsa through this. Books like this, English and Elsa Dictionary by Arnold Fisher. Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna beg and ask someone, can you this, that, and the third all the time? No, I'm gonna go out there and get it. Because life, they say fortune favors the bold. Nicholas Ailey, thank you so much for joining. Nicholas A. Hanley, thank you so much for joining. Life is not about just asking for things. It's about going out there, having the mindset, and then seizing it, having the goal, and then working towards it. So I had to seize greatness. This is the Do-It-Yourself Publishing. It's going to be at 2 to 3 p.m. at Boston Comics and Color Festival. I cannot wait for you to be there and see it, because the panel will focus on the process to take your amazing idea from your head into a fully realized book. We will talk with some amazing creators who have successfully gone through this about what it takes to self-publish. I'm telling you, self-publishing is so amazing, because when you self-publish and you understand how it works, you can literally do anything. I'm literally working on another 4 or 5 books, and I can do that because I understand self-publishing. And the best part is that they're all, by God's grace, going to release this week. I cannot wait for you to see that. Like, literally, this is going to be fantastic. We are coloring books, audiobooks, all types of amazing stuff. But the best part is that once you learn the path once, that's it. Just once is all it takes, because once you learn the path once, you can go again and again and again. Because I understood how to make a manga, which is a children's book, once, I could do it again and again and again. And the best part about it is that these are assets. We need to get, like EYL talks about it, assets over liabilities. Don't just focus on how much you can be a liability to other people by working. Focus on how you can get assets under your belt so they can sell for you. Literally, we made a book called 7 Steps to Creating Your Dream Manga Series because we want to help more creators, more people go from idea to reality. And if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see it, because too many times mangaka have stressed out about, oh my gosh, I gotta make all this work, and then they're so sick. Literally, how many times have you heard it in the manga industry where this person, had to take a break because of health issues, or this manga is being canceled because at the end of the day either the author died or some type of situation. It's dangerous. It's dangerous in these manga streets when it comes to creating the books, because people want it so fast, but they're not being able to sustain it. Sustainability is key, because when you can sustain your greatness, you're able to get more and more. What would be the point of working so hard to make $1 million or $1 billion only to end up with sicknesses and diseases? Why would you ever want that? So at the end of the day, My encouragement to you, kings and queens, is this: get to the point where you're working on your dreams, on your goals, using the power of your words and speaking the life that you want. But while you do that, you're also taking care of yourself. Most people are not going to talk about this. I've read so many how to draw books. They don't show you the actual steps of how to go from the idea to a physical book. So this is why I'm excited to have this discussion, because at the end of the day, when we have this discussion on making an actual book, do it yourself publishing, what I love is the fact that we're going to be actually talking about it, actually talking about it. And not just idea or maybe part, but the actual thing. The actual, I had the idea, I had the goal, I had it in my mind, and then I got it done. See, that's the thing. Too many times we have all these ideas and all these thoughts, but we don't get it done. We don't get it done. We let life punk us. We let life hit us in the face, and then we stop, and then we quit, and then we give up. Like, come on now. That is not winning. And this is the book I'm talking about. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. It is called 7 Steps to Creating Your Dream Manga Series, because I believe that books allow you to step into someone's dreams. Books allow you to be a KPI, a key person of influence. And when you are that, you're able to stand above the rest. You're better than the best. And that's the thing. Because it's one thing to say I can draw, I can write, I can be a graphic designer, but it's another thing to show someone. See, at the end of the day, people will judge a book by its cover. And when it comes to you saying that you're the best at it is what you do, you have to be able to prove it. You have to be able to back it up. Where's the evidence? Books allow you to do that. And the best part I love about a book, once it's written, it's done. All you got to do is just sell it. So whether it's 1 or 10 or 1,000 or 100,000 or 1,000,000 sales of a book, always remember, once the book is done, it's done. You may have a second edition that comes out, but it's done. And that's why I love it, because books are assets. A book is an asset that you can sell and sell and sell. That's just the beginning. We talk about the ways that you can take your book to the next level, all the other aspects of self-publishing. In fact, in the 7 Steps to Create Your Dream Manga series, I reveal the books I use to help me learn to write. I reveal the actual companies I use to actually self-publish books. I literally go through the metrics of what it takes to actually plan out pages and how to actually structure and how to actually draw and how to actually protect the idea and how to actually sell it. So at the end of the day, kings and queens, I would rather you go from the idea to protecting the idea to selling your product. That's it. Because like Master P says, product outweighs talent. You can have all the ideas, you can have all the goals in your mind, but at the end of the day, if you don't have the actual product in your hand, how are you going to be able to convert someone? How are you going to be able to get them on a sales journey? So again, this is BCICF, and it's happening this this week Saturday. I cannot wait for you to be there, kings and queens. I cannot wait, because again, we are going to be talking about manga. We're going to be talking about do-it-yourself publishing, and on the panel is going to be, it's moderated by King, who's super excited. Oh my gosh, that's the actual one of the people that helped found the event. So it's an honor. David Crompton is going to be there. That's the guy behind of Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. Yes, I'll say it again. The author and the creator behind of Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, David Crompton, is going to have Calvin Chambers. He's going to be there as well. These are people on the panel. Calvin Chambers, he's created Icarus Metro. He's got some other manga coming out. Oni Hunter's got a Kickstarter for that coming out soon. Javier Cruz Winnick, he's another amazing self-published author. And then there's me. It's an honor to be in the room. And I can't wait, kings and queens, because at the end of the day, if you want to access and activate your greatness, you have to be in the room. Say it with me, in the room. That's the power of words, word of mouth. If, and this is so amazing how God works, if Calvin didn't message me or actually talk to me about Comics in Color Festival, word of mouth, I would have never known about it. So I would have never gone to it. So I would never have applied to it. So I'd never be on the stage. How many millions of dollars are we losing every year by not stepping into our greatness? How many? How many billions of dollars are we losing every year by not stepping into our greatness, by not taking that step, that plunge? No, it's not easy. Life is not a crystal stair. Sometimes it's about taking the step, even if you don't see the stairs, because that's how greatness is done. It's not about living just comfortably. It's about going through risk. Because at the end of the day, when a baby is learning to walk, there's a risk it's going to fall. But when it does, if it does happen, it just gets up and it keeps going. You don't want to tell a baby, oh no, you fell once, don't ever step again, just don't do it. You would tell them, you fell, get back up again. You had a mistake, it didn't work out the way you wanted, get back up again. That's why even in BOLDSAGA, again, tying into the whole motivational part, Misego's on his way to work. He hates his job. He's depressed. He's annoyed. But one thing is that while he's talking to his mom, he's basically saying, and her name is McKenna Umnatha, he says, later, mom, and then she says, later, honey, have a great day. And then he says, I wish I could, but I hate today. How many times have you hated today? Whether it's I'll be honest. Some days I don't even feel like doing things. I just want to just stop. But at the end of the day, I know what's on the line, so I can't. You have to keep moving towards your goal and your dreams. Even me posting this right now, I'm in the middle of production of like 4 or 5 more other books, but I took time out because I want to help and inspire and empower you. Is it easy? No, but it's always worth it. The risk is always worth the reward. So he's saying, later, mom. She's saying, later, honey, have a great day. He says, I wish I could, but I hate today. And some people hate Monday, some people hate Tuesday, some people hate every day. But Misego's saying, I hate today. I hate going to work there. Every time I get to work, it becomes a bad day. But here's what his mother says. She smiles after hugging him and says to console her son, she smiles and says, there aren't any bad days. And I'm here to tell you, kings and queens, there are no bad days. There are no bad days. There are no bad days. Just bad moments. As long as you're breathing, there is a chance to turn it around. What do I mean by that? Have you ever lived a day in your life where 24 hours was negativity? Where every single moment of that day, of that moment, of that entire day was just pain? I would probably say no. I don't think I've ever felt a day where I've literally had 24 hours of pain. Yes, there are some tragic moments in life, like when my grandfather died, who literally helped inspire me to make this book along with the rest of my family. I have it in the dedication page. It literally says, as the book begins, days may be dark, but still don't give up. Alfonso Bon. I really wish I could have finished this book in time so I could have shown him. But this is why you can't wait for the perfect opportunity. You have to go out there and seize greatness. Use the power of your words and speak the life that you want and then actually do it. Some people say words don't matter. You just got to put in the work, this, and the third. How can you go if you don't know where you're going? You can mash the gas as long as you want to, but without the steering wheel, the car has no direction. Direction is even more important than acceleration, because if you're accelerating and you're accelerating in the wrong direction, you're going in the wrong way and you're wasting time. Your words are your steering wheel. They allow you to steer your life. Again, your words are your steering wheel. They allow you to steer your life. They're literally almost the entire car, because they're the traction, the thing that helps you keep going. You have to speak the life that you want. That's why I can't wait for you to see. Should I tell you? Yes, I can't wait for you to see the books that we have coming out, because they're here to help empower you and encourage you. And one of the things I notice very important is affirmations. Because when you speak an affirmation like, I am the head and not the tail, I am above and not beneath, I am the lender and not the borrower, I am a millionaire, I am a billionaire, I am a trillionaire, I am a successful self-published author, your life will catch up to your words. How do I know this? Because making chapter 1 of BOLDSAGA, oh, you see the book today. Oh, let me give you a little backstory about what happened just to get to here. Had like almost like a mental breakdown right after having the idea in 2018. I was like, I had this idea, helping my dad, got the idea for BOLDSAGA. Right after that, just a couple of weeks later, in December, got hit with this craziness. I felt so downcast. That was a bad moment, but it lasted a couple of days where not the entire day was depressing, but I just didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. I'm just being completely transparent with you. I wanted to give up. But then as I noticed, I was like, no, I have this dream and this goal. I've already tried video games, I've done that, but I need to actually finish something. See, finishing opens opportunities, like Tim Fielder says. Vantage in-house, thank you so much for joining, King. I had to finish something because I hate the feeling of starting and stopping. How many people have been there? You can put it in the comments, put it in the chat. Comment, if you've ever procrastinated, if you've ever had a dream and a goal, you wanted to get it done, but you couldn't get it done. You wanted to get it done, but you were delayed. Delay is not denial, but you were delayed. Issues hit you. You couldn't get it done in the time frame that you wanted. But I noticed that even though I failed in the past, I can't keep failing because failure after failure produces a culture of failing. And the only way to break a culture of failing is speaking the life that you want, thinking differently, imagining what it would be like to win. Because I said I needed a win. I've helped so many people reach their dreams and their goals. Currently, I have 13 years of experience as a graphic designer. Fire 8 all, thank you so much for joining. I have years of experience as a graphic designer. I've helped so many people reach their goals and their dreams, whether it's a new logo, branding their website, changing up the graphics. Self-Flick Studios, thank you so much for joining. I've helped and check out Self-Flick Studios. They got amazing animations, top tier, phenomenal. I've helped so many people achieve their dreams, achieve their goals, get their logo out, get their website done, all these things. And I was like, I need to do something different. I need to actually make my dream come true. Wanted to be a video game developer, wanted to go to Full Sail, didn't work out that way. Had a choice, either be a fine artist or a graphic designer. Chose graphic design, damn near almost failed college, and then became computer graphics club president along the way, realizing if I'm paying for this, I have to pay and then I have to win. Because there's no point about paying someone to teach you a skill set and then failing it. This is for anyone that's been in college and just hates it there. If you're paying it, you have to take it serious. And if someone else is paying for it, that's a blessing. That is, be honest. Thank you so much for joining. But at the end of the day, if God woke you up this morning and gave you an opportunity to breathe, then breathe in opportunity and breathe out negativity. Breathe out that doubt. Just get it out of you. Why? Because at the end of the day, someone is praying for the same opportunity that you have right now. I remember when I even think about it, I look at the issues that I face on BOLDSAGA. You know, grandfather passes away before I finish chapter 1. 20 months to release the first chapter because I had to learn Isin Osa, Koi, Zulu, because I don't speak African languages authentically. But I wanted to put authenticity in the book because so many times we have these stories where it's black characters and diversity for diversity's sake without the culture. Culture is everything. Without culture, I'm not going to say you're nothing, but you're not connected to your people. You're not connected to your group esteem. You're not connected to, just in the back right there is Adinkras. All on the side. One of the Adinkras is Fahodie, emancipation and freedom. The other is Neo Pese Obedihene, which is he who wants to be king, you have to serve. So at the end of the day, it's tied to your culture. The same way we respect animes and mangas because they got the kanji and the ramen and the actual language and the culture and the food, the same way we need to respect our culture and showcase that. That's what we did with BOLDSAGA. It's about empowering us. But failure after failure, lesson after lesson, I've learned hard times don't last, but hard people will. Strong. Only the strong survive. It's sad, but it's true. Because too many times we just wish that things are better. No, don't wish it were better. Wish you were better. That's the thing. It's not going to get easier. Life is going to get progressively harder, just like any good video game. But what that does is it challenges you to be great. I was even thinking to myself one day, look outside, it was raining, and I walked out and I looked. It was rain and it was rain and it was rain, and the rain kept hitting the flowers, hitting the plants, hitting the grass. And I thought about it. The rain that falls allows the plant to grow. See, the plant is not just going to grow in the sunshine. If it did, it would just shrivel up and die. But what I noticed is that the water that falls down on the plant helps it to grow up. The problems that are hitting you down are for your benefit. Why? Because they're helping you grow. They're helping you evolve. They're helping you change. Even to the fact, me personally, I'm be honest with you, I'm changing the way I structure my business from just only servicing with low ticket to high ticket. Now we do premium value. Living life on Jack 2 mode. Hey, that's my game right there. I was gonna mention Jack and Daxter and Jack 2 and Jack there. I played all of them. The only one I didn't play is the PSP one. I love Jack and Daxter. That's one of my. That was one of the games where I paused it and looked around the environment and I said, you know what? I could do this. I challenge you to have one of those moments, kings and queens. Playing the video game is almost like the networking, going and experiencing it. Go to where it is that you want to go and experience it. Live the life that you want to live and experience it. If you want to be a premium value person, challenge yourself. Like one of the things I did, small step going forward, I was like, premium value. I believe it. So I'm going to buy Hidden Valley Ranch. I'm going to buy the expensive ranch, not the dollar one, the $5 one. But it's a step in the right direction. I challenge you, kings and queens, get in there. Just a space of greatness. Get around people who are great, who are further along the line than you. You don't want to be in a circle where you're the smartest person in a circle. You want to be in a circle. See, Oliver's agreeing with me. Yeah, he's like, yeah, you want to be in a circle where you're not the smartest person in it, but you can glean from other people who are experts in their field, who are masters of the game in their field. So, went through a whole bunch of failures and challenges to release chapter one. Grandfather passed away, 20 months of setbacks, but then I finally finished the first chapter. After all of that, after failing the 90-day book challenge, it was a blessing. And then I got hit with another failure. The physical book, Amazon had an issue. This, that, and the third. Took me 24 times, and then I got the physical book done. So at the end of the day, kings and queens, it doesn't matter how many times life is going to hit you down. The question I have for you is how many times you're going to get back up? Because that's what's going to help you determine if you're going to win or if you're going to lose. See, fall down 7 times, get up 8, just like when I mentioned with the baby earlier. By failing, you learn to walk, you know? It's like I think Martin Luther King Jr. said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever it is that you're doing, keep moving forward. Sometimes slow is the way forward. Sometimes fast is the way forward. I'm not the mentality that speed only is the best way, because there's different levels of speed. You can speed up in your productivity and you can speed up in your systemization, because systems are self-care. And if you don't have systems in place, you'll be grinding yourself to destruction. This is the problem with the manga industry. So many people are working so hard, so hard, so hard with their implementation, but not unification, no communication, no imagination. They don't own their IP, so they're grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding, but they're not getting it done to the point that they can protect their IP and live the life that they want. Wouldn't it be amazing if you could live a life where you can make $1 million in a month or a week or a day, and then you don't have to worry about being stressed out for the other 364 days? You can just live the life that you want. Well, you won't be able to grind and work hard enough in one day to be able to do that. But if you have systems in place and you have offers in place and you have high ticket premium value offers, products and services, you can change the game forever. So at the end of the day, that's what I encourage you to do, kings and queens. I know we're in the knowledge economy. I know many people say you want to start low and then go upwards. That's nice and all to help people because it's being considered. But at the same time, if you look at it, I know that, Jesus, I know, see, Oliver's tired of it. He's tired of it, man. I know that we think it's the best in our best interest in helping people by lowering the price to get into or get access to knowledge, to our knowledge base, to our experience. But I have to ask you a question. When in life has making things completely easier for someone ultimately been the best thing? Wouldn't it be better to challenge them to be better? Wouldn't it be? For example, if you want a black belt, you're not just going to snap your fingers and because I want a black belt, you want a black belt, and everyone gets a black belt. No. See, achievement is worth it. It's worth it to go through the tests and trials, to prove yourself through it. If everyone gets anything without actually having to prove themselves, you're not challenging yourself, you're not growing, you're not evolving. Look at how muscles grow. Your body, you don't just like tap your hand and then you got like a, big biceps and a six pack and a strong body, or tap your stomach and then you're healed physically and you don't have to do anything. At the end of the day, it requires work. Look at how the muscles grow. The muscles have to be torn apart and then rebuilt on top of that. You have to go through exercise. You have to go through work. Work is worth it, but get to the point where you're working smarter as well as working harder. You work smarter after you work hard. Like I've learned these things along my journey after putting in the work, after grinding. And I challenge you to do the same thing. Use the power of your words and speak the life that you want. Get in the room with amazing people. This do-it-yourself publishing, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait because I truly believe that. It's like one of my mentors says, formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. I went to school for graphic design, but I learned how to be a mangaka on my own. Before I even finished high school, actually, I was reading so many how to draw manga books like this, the Giant Robo. I was reading this stuff like this when I was a kid. And I would just go to the library and max out my library card at 95 items. The majority of them items were how to draw books like this. But you know what I learned along my journey? This will only take you so far. These type of books that are helpful for one skill, but not the complete package. I'd rather challenge you to learn the complete package. I'd rather challenge you in whatever it is that you're learning. Find a way to learn the system so that you can actually use the system for your benefit. And what do I mean by that? Don't just Be the person who's working. Learn how the system works so that you can be the owner one day. Because at the end of the day, we keep hearing so many people stress out about losing a job and, losing this opportunity and, this person being laid off. Bed Bath and Beyond just literally filed for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This is serious, kings and queens. Very serious. I want you to hear me now. Hear me now. This world is going to keep automating until jobs are done. So at the end of the day, what else is left? Businesses, that gift. At the end of the day, I'd rather challenge you not to be employed. I'd rather challenge you to be deployed to your work. That's what I learned from Dr. Miles Monroe. You have to be deployed to your work, not a job, not just something simple, but to your work, the thing that can help you stand the test of time, the thing that you've been created to do. I don't believe we've been just being created. I don't believe we were just created to work a job and die. I don't believe the purpose of life is just to pay bills and die, to just watch news and be depressed, to just work for 50 and 60 years and then have maybe 5 years of, retirement. And even that is drying up. I'd rather you work hard to the point that you live the life that you want now. Now, now. Live now. Like my mentor says, you want to take action now. No opportunity wasted. Again, no opportunity wasted. Don't waste these opportunities. Every day is a gift. They even had this millionaire, and he was talking to these people, and he said, would you like it if I gave you a check for $1 million or even $10 million? They're like, yeah, would you like that? And they were like, yeah, I would love that. And then he asked the question, okay, so you would like a check for $1 million right now, right? Perfect. Okay, but here's the actual stipulations. Once I sign this check, you have 24 hours left to live, and by 24 hours afterwards, you die. They're like, no. And he's like, would you still want the check? They're like, no. So what did that tell you? He's like, so then why is it then you value the fact that you don't want to give up your life for $1 million or $10 million, but then you wake up every single day? Like, you had so many bad moments that we consider as bad days, but you wake up every single day. If you're watching this video, you've outlasted so many negative days, so many hard times, so many times when you didn't know how you're gonna make it through, but you got through, right? Because you're watching this right now, because you're still here. Okay, so what does that tell you? Your life, waking up, having opportunities is worth more than a million, a billion, or $1 trillion. Wealth is less valuable than you. You are more valuable than diamonds and gold. You are. Literally, if you look at melanin and you look at the value of that to gold, it's literally true. You are more valuable than silver and gold. You are. You are. That imagination that you have, that dream that you have, that life that you have, that light that you give off, that laugh, what it is that you were born to do. I challenge you to do it. Just like when we say with BOLDSAGA, enter the extraordinary. Miranda Fergus 246, thank you so much for joining. I challenge you to enter the extraordinary. I challenge you to seize greatness. Don't ask people for greatness. Don't ask people to make it easier. Wish you were better. That's why when I try and I look for other products and systems, I try my best, God help me, to keep investing at the level that the person has that opportunity for. We don't like it though. People get killed over $5. It's true. It's so true. Thank you, Evangelist Rucker. Super excited that you're here. It's crazy. It's so true though, because like the value that we put on money versus life, it's reversed. It's so sad. We like to, what's the word? Hoard the money and use hoard the money and use the people, but we need to celebrate the people and use the money to benefit us. That's how we win. Because currency is money. Money is called currency. What is that? Current. It's a flow. If you just hoard it, it dies. It's a seed. You have to plant it. You have to invest it. Invest it into church. Pay tithes. Pay offerings. You have to invest it into people. You have to invest it into masterminds. Because as a wise person once says, if you pour your wallet into your mind will pour infinite amounts of money back into your wallet. This is why I love reading books. This is why I love, like, for example, what's that one? Power of Broke by Damon John. Have to read it. Think and Grow Rich. Power of Positive Thinking. All these books are books that you should be reading. Why? Because you need to elevate your mindset. There's so many books out there. The Secret of, what's the word I'm looking for? Eric Thomas has a book, and he basically talked about it. You need to get into books that are powering you. You need to get into books that are encouraging you. You need to get into organizations. Go to a church. Go to positive events. empower your mind, because expectation is a superpower. I learned that by having expectations, it changed everything. I had an expectation to get BOLDSAGA done, and then I got it done. And then I was like, I had an expectation to get an audiobook for BOLDSAGA getting done, and it's almost done. Even Evangelist Worker gave me the idea of doing coloring books. The coloring books are like 90% done. I'm working on the 5th one right now. There's so many other things, affirmations, planets. There's so many things that are out there. So you need to get Secret of Success by Eric Thomas. Must read. He literally talked about how he was homeless. Now he's got a PhD now. So don't let life punk you into thinking that it's impossible to get it done. I'm from the Caribbean. When I went to Antigua, they didn't believe in me. They told me, you're an American. You don't have no sense. Like, you can't even take our test. Beat the test. First day of school, they're like, we hit you with 3 national exams. I couldn't take it because I didn't know the knowledge. And they ranked me. Like Ranking of Kings, the anime, they ranked me. And they were like, you're C group because you don't really know what you're doing. Within a couple of weeks, kings and queens, within a couple of weeks to months, I went from C group to B group to A group. I was able to learn, what is it, 5 to 6 years worth of knowledge in 10 months by the grace of God. And I know it's God. To the point the teacher is like, Miss Judge, I let you want to come and bang off all you. You live here. He didn't. That's the advantage of people not believing in you. That's the advantage of being the underdog, because you can show up, show out, and show people who you are. That's why you have to enter the extraordinary. Enter the extraordinary. Don't just think about it, live it. Don't just imagine it, only walk it out and live it. Why? Because at the end of the day, we don't know how many. Life is a game. You know, like when you used to watch soccer or basketball, they have the timer. Life is a game where the timer is hidden. You don't know how many times you have left. You don't know how much time you have left. That's what I'm basically getting to. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. So this is why every day, every moment, every breath, instead of breathing out like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get this done? Breathe in opportunity and breathe out the fact that you still have a chance. What's the phrase? If there's life, there's hope. And if you're still breathing, there's a chance to turn it around. Like, that's what literally in chapter 1 of Bold. This is the first chapter. Masego's parents are in his life. His mom literally told him there aren't any bad days, just bad moments. As long as you're breathing, there's a chance to turn it around. See, I think that manga stands to be one of the greatest opportunities in our generation to be able to impact this generation for God, but also to empower people and generate wealth. Why? In the 7 steps to create the Dream Manga series, which we're showing on YouTube, we literally show, if you're watching this on Facebook as well, thank you. I really appreciate it. This book that I created goes over how to create a manga cover to cover, and we go from it from a business standpoint. This isn't a how to draw book. This is a business book that happens to have manga in it because it's an opportunity. It's a vehicle. The same way how animation was a vehicle for Disney 100 years ago. The same way how manga was a vehicle for Osamu Tezuka. We literally go over the top 25 highest paid or highest ranking media franchises of all time. You know what number 1 is? It's not Fox News. I thought it was Fox News at first, or one of the CBS or something like that. Like media franchises, because if you even look up what the word franchise means, it means freedom. This is why I encourage you to actually create manga, because if you want that freedom life, that freedom, you can do it through series. You can do it through stories, because story is the greatest catalyst for change, like Jordan Peele said. So when they looked at the top 25 media franchises of all time, number 1 was Pokemon. With at this point, it's worth 100 billion. Over that, because this was 2018 when they did it. Number 2 was Hello Kitty. 1 and 2 are manga style. Manga style. This is why you need to get into this. I'm telling you, kings and queens. Animation. Selflix Studios does that. Selflix.studios. They do that. One of the best ways to get your animation done is to have a book. Why? Because, for example, where is it? Right here. This manga, I'm still reading it to this day. Over 1,080 chapters of one book. One book. 1,080 chapters. You know how much content you can turn that into? Movies, video games, spin-off series, animations. Like, that's the power of a book. So many things that we have are inspired by books. What had happened was a Christian animated series. They have a Kickstarter going on. Support them, please. We need Christian anime. We need anime about the Bible. Everyone's been asking for it. They're working on it. At the end of the day, it's based on a book. So many things that are great series are based on books. Evangelist Worker said, absolutely, 100, excellent. Yes, the more people say I can't do something, the more I want to prove them wrong. I'm telling you, it's so true. It's so true. That's why even like what NF said, the Christian rapper, and he basically had a song called Let Him Pray. And he literally talks about If they're praying on my downfall, let them pray. I actually rap as well. My stage name is Vanquish. In chapter 3, we have a song called Hakuna Mapaka, which literally means no limits. And literally, that's how you have a hat that says, I got no limits. Because in the book, we also have a character who wears it. We don't just make the merch. The merch is in the books as well. So the reality is this: you have to speak the life that you want, and you have to live a life of no limits, because that's what I believe God came and gave us, that Zoe life. What is Zoe? Oh my gosh, that life, that freedom life. That's what you need. You need that abundant life, that life that's beyond these challenges, beyond these situations, beyond these problems, a limitless life. That's what I encourage you to do, kings and queens. Get to the point where you live a life with no limits. You live a life with no limits. You live a life with no limits. Why? Because at the end of the day, everyone will try and put a limit on you. They'll say you can't do this, you can't do that. You can't do this because you're black. You can't do this because you're white. You can't do this because you're short. You can't do this because you're tall. You can't do this because you're a Christian. You can't do this because you're not Japanese. I'd rather shatter every limit. It's the whole reason I wrote this book, Bold Saga, Brave Onwards, Limit Destroyer. Not Challenge Destroyer, not just a thought. Limits. Limits happen to everyone. That's why this story is literally about underdogs rising. Thank you so much, Evangelist Sophie. She said, preach, sir. Thank you so much. It's just God. Because I know it's God. Even to the fact, I'll give you another clue. Life is like a video game. And the closer you get to your goal, the more opposition, enemies, limits, and challenges will get in your way. 4 months after releasing Bold Saga, just 4 months, not 40 chapters, just 4 months, another company came and trademarked the name Bold Saga. And what did they trademark it in? They trademarked it under comics. Now, who do you know? Who do you know that has a comic or a manga that's publishing that has the name Bold Saga? Who? Who could it be? Who could it be? It was not me. It was not me. It was another company. I won't name them. But the point is that they did that, and we are literally dealing with an NOO. That is the creative nightmare that I would rather no one experience. Exactly, Oliver. Exactly. See, he's tired of it. He's tired of it, man. Like, I would rather you never go through an NOO. I'm going through it, and I know that it's a blessing because I can help. The 7 Steps to Create Your Dream Manga series is one way to get through it. The other way is the Manga Just Live course. You don't want these kind of problems. You don't. This stuff will kill it can kill your passion, it can kill your progress, it can kill everything that you're working on. But at the end of the day, I know that by going through this NOO, now I can help you. See, an NOO is a notice of opposition. It can be up to 7 years of legal fees and up to $50,000 in legal payments. I would rather you never know this word or deal with it in your entire life. So I made the 7 steps to creating your Elena Kristen Crypto. Thank you so much for joining. I'd rather you never experience things like this because it's painful. But pain produces greatness. This is literally why, literally on the back of the book, it says from pain to power, because I've lived it. I've been through so many pain in my life, but by God's grace, I've gone through it. So many times when it's like, you should give up. There's no way you can get it done. This, that, and the third. Oh my, just to release it. AJ Artwork says, how long did it take you to make your first book? From a standpoint of, from when I started it, I'll get back to that, Selflix. That's a good question. From when I started it, right, to where it is right now, it took from 2018 to 2020. July is when I released chapter 1. So that is 20 months. But the full story is 4 years of making video games, and then I had to reshift. So it's 4 years of video games, and then shifting it, and then changing it, and then 20 months. So totally, it's almost like 5 years. But really, once I started the process, it is 20 months. And it was hard. It was hard. But every battle that I've had to go through is by the grace of God. Now, Selflix asked a great question. Why not change the name? Let him have it instead of battling for 7 years. One of the reasons why I will never give up the name Bold Saga as long as I'm breathing is this. This idea came from God. Bold Saga is not something that I just looked up one day in a book. It's not something that I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to call it Bold. I was literally helping my dad, and I was looking for something, praying for something that would change my life, because I was tired of just helping everyone achieve their dreams and their goals and not have an asset to call my own. Dre's Hill 44, thanks for joining. You ever had a dream worth fighting for? You ever had something that you wake up every day and night and you see, this is powerful? Just revelation upon revelation. I only reveal about 10% of what happens in the series of Bold Saga through the books. Currently, I've got the other 80 to 90% of just thoughts and ideas in it, the systems in it that I can't wait to share in the series. Now, sure, it'd be easy to just change the name of BOLDSAGA to something else had I not started, had I not gone through this journey of, imagine working 20 months, you finally release your dream. I've wanted to be a manga since a kid. When I went to Antigua and I was literally, I felt like Samurai Jack, like back, but gotta be back to the back, Samurai Jack. Literally got flung into the past, tore open the portal, flung into the past in the Caribbean. The only things I could really do to entertain myself were either watch PBS, which got boring after a while because feeds happen. I don't even want to go into that right now. But I had books. I had to read a whole bunch of dictionaries. This is why I love words and speaking and etymology. I even learned it from the church I go through on Bethel Christian Center. The Bishop Price always talks about etymologies. I love words and I love the meaning behind of the word. It's so cool. It's like ancestry on the words. So yes, Goat Saga. Okay, but I love words. I love books. And I love manga. That was one of the things I last read before I came to Antigua. Barnes and Nobles, and it's crazy. I'm having a book signing at Barnes and Nobles. So did that. Had a dream. Had a goal for making manga. BOLDSAGA is my first published manga, but it's not the only one. I've done manga with my best friend Deshaun when I was in high school. Helped him with his drawings. We had series and stuff like that in the past. This is the first officially released manga. So after having the dream and the goal and reading how to do something for years, I'm 30, so like almost 25 years of trying to get it done. I finally released something. And only 4 months and someone else came? Oh no. If it took me a lifetime to reach this point, oh no, I'm going to keep on to it. And let's be honest, if someone is coming to take a name that they did not create, why would they take a name that they did not create? Now, I have no idea why, but I can surmise that maybe it's valuable. Maybe it's so valuable that you could use it for so many other opportunities. Remember now, it's called BOLDSAGA. And it's one word, not two, not three, not four. One word. And what is bold? Being brave, onwards in the face of adversity, finding the limits and destroying it. You know how many implications you can use that for? It's so vast. That's the power of the name. And let's be honest now, I already have the series. So if I were to give up the name quote unquote and let someone else have it, what would they do with the series? I have no idea. But I know we did it for God. We're doing it to empower kings and queens. Like, do you know the person's name? I can't reveal that, but you can look it up on the link in bio on Great Gale, my page. You can look it up because it's a notice of opposition. The page is there. I don't know them personally. I don't know them. I've seen the name in the stuff. We've had this is ongoing. And what I would encourage you to do, kings and queens, is learn how to navigate and protect your ideas so you don't have to go through this. I'm never giving up BOLDSAGA. Why? I know what it took to get here. And I don't trust what someone else will do with this story, which is why when we made BOLDSAGA, we do cover to cover. We do cover to cover. And I won't reveal what's truly going on in the case, but what I will say is that what I'm facing right now is only by the grace of God. Why? I found out about them doing this 4 to 5 days, maybe even 6 days, or a couple of days after they did it. They didn't make a sound. They didn't promote it on social media. They didn't tell the entire world that they were doing this. They secretly went and then trademarked the name. Now, how could I find out about them and I don't even know them? God, it's just God. It's just God. God gave it a heads up about what they did. Here's another reason why I will never give up the name. When they had, this is like in the Bible when the kings of the enemies of God's people were like, how is it that they keep finding out what it is that we're doing? Who in here is the snitch? And then when the attendants was like, "There's no snitch in here. It's literally just their God, Jehovah. He's somehow telling them what's happening in the king's bedchambers." How do you explain that they trademarked the name BOLDSAGA right after we already have the book? So they would have had to see us. I don't care what anyone says. They would have had to see us because why would you trademark the name BOLDSAGA in comics? No one just randomly pays $725 for a name of something unless they see the value in it and they know what someone else is doing. It's a business move. At the end of the day, how is it? No one can explain this to me. I'm doing the case. This is after I found out the fact that they're doing all this stuff. I trademarked BOLDSAGA as well after them. That was a couple of weeks because I followed. Here's the cool thing about the way how trademarks work. To have a trademark for a book series, you have to have 2 books physically made. That's how trademarks work. I'll give you some game right now. That's how a trademark works. You need to have 2 books. Many people don't know this. They just think you just trademark. The literal law book on trademarks, the TTAB, says that you need 2 books. But if you use a technicality, that's how they're trying to slip in. Now, I won't reveal everything that's going on, but what I will say is this. When I happen to be in the case, I'm in the case, God allows the opportunity to happen, and it says go to the website. I go to their website. Here's what I see when they have BOLDSAGA. Now, this is a business that's doing this. When it talks about empowering businesses, they have a black woman as a superhero. When it talks about helping businesses get to the next level, they have a fireball. Fire, that's cool. But when they have BOLDSAGA, they have a monkey. Yes, a monkey. If I'm not mistaken, a black monkey with blue glasses. After everything we've done to him, you see how Masego and Shawnee look. You see what we stand for over here. You see the kind of implication that can happen with someone having BOLDSAGA and having a monkey. Never. Never, never that. And I don't say anything negative about them because I respect people. But I'm not going to let everything that I've worked for up to this point, this legacy of greatness that's God-given, be tarnished like that. No. So we literally brought it up as well. So the reason I'm saying all of this is that, wait a minute, trademarks talk about a year to obtain. Is it just pending? No. The way how trademarks work, well, there's a time frame to apply, of course, and then they have to review everything. But the way how trademarks work for books is that there's a specific guideline you have to go by. Some people like to use technicalities, but again, trademarks is law. Law is technicalities. You need a lawyer. This is why I talk about in the 7 Steps to Creating a Dream Manga series. You need to get a lawyer. I like the fact that many people are making manga. That's cute. That's great. And I'm happy for you. God bless. But I would rather you own the trademark on your series, because if you don't, you are leaving a legal loophole that I'm not going to say just enemies. Anyone could use it against you. Now, would you really want to build up something and then they just take advantage? No, you wouldn't. Now, I didn't. Here's the reason why originally I didn't do a trademark on BOLDSAGA. Because when I did BOLDSAGA, I was like, this is great. I believe it's awesome. But I don't know what the fan reaction will be. Because what would be the point of paying hundreds or even thousands of dollars to protect something and you don't know the value to the market? You only find out the true value to the market until you test it in the market. We've sold hundreds of copies, so it is valuable. That is a mistake I should have done. And this is something that anyone can learn from. Don't just create the thing, own the thing. Don't just create the animation, own the animation, own the name. Find a way to protect it in any way, because people will be watching. It's like Funimation. You should be watching. Yeah. People are watching. This is why you shouldn't just have a... I'm not even going to go into that right now. The point is this. The power of words. Speak the life that you want. And trademarks are all about words. So again, he said, wait a minute, trademarks take about a year to obtain. Is it just pending? I already did it. We're in the NOO. You can look up how that works specifically. That's correct. People, protect yourself. Get those trademarks and copyrights. You need that. You need that. You need that. Too many times we got these books that show us only part of the game. I literally read one of the best manga creators, their company, Shonenjump, went through the book. I don't remember ever seeing anything about a trademark or a copyright. No. They even said that there's no way to actually do what you're doing. So I can't take that as sound business advice. Even if it is coming from the best in the game, I don't care. You should own what it is that you're doing. They asked the millionaire, how do you become a millionaire? He said, own every part of the system, own every part of the process. And that's what we do at Great Gale. We actually own cover to cover, and we actually apply for the trademark. So this is a journey. This is something that you're learning, and I've learned it, and I want to help you. This is why I made 7 Steps to Creating a Dream Manga series, which is $20. You can learn how to actually avoid this nightmare, as well as own. Now, at the end of the day, you ask why I don't give up. The reason I don't give up is that video games taught me that. You don't give up. Super Mario, if you want to save Peach, you have to go through the challenges. I don't like giving up, ever. I'm just like that. Because when I play video games, I'm trying to get the 100% and then the bonuses. Like when I played Jack, I finished the game, then I went back and I tried to get every single bonus item, because that's what life is about. I don't want 100, I want 120. 120. That's what I'm aiming for. Greatness is upon you. Another book by Dr. Eric Thomas, as well as Average Skill, Phenomenal World. I've come way too far just to give up. And there was a point where I did question myself. The same time when I found out that the other company came for the trademark of BOLDSAGA, I was like, oh my gosh, God. Because I was sitting down, I'm like, a voice came in my head, you should just check on BOLDSAGA right now. I'm like, BOLDSAGA? We just released chapter 1 4 months ago. Why would anyone trademark it? And then when I looked at it, I was like, wow, only by the grace of God. You can't explain it. Didn't make a noise, didn't make a sound. I don't know them. I don't know them. Maybe they know me, but I don't know them. I don't know how this ended up being, but I know that it's for a reason. And I know that God will never give you more than you can bear. One, all things work together for good to them that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Two, and in vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Three. So this is going to impact and empower kings and queens to seize greatness for the kingdom of God. There's literally angels on the cover. You know what we about. We know a manga, the type of energy they're on. We aren't that. We're different. So if it's for God and you're trying to block it, then God bless. And it's just like one of my favorite mentors, a wise man, NF, once said, "If you're praying on my downfall, let him pray." That's one of the hardest songs. That is my theme song for this year at this point regarding this challenge, because people will come in your way. People will say these things. Challenges will happen, but at the end of the day, it's to refine you. I believe, in my opinion, that this is happening to help me refine what I'm doing, but also help other people avoid this type of nightmare. So many people be like, man, I just give it up. It's the easy choice. It's the easy choice to give up. It's the easy choice to just change the name. But at the end of the day, you have to look at the bigger picture. King Yeo 23, thanks for joining. You have to look at the bigger picture. Jacob had to keep wrestling with God until he got his name changed to Israel. It had to happen. You have to keep going. You have to keep going. Like when the king was talking to the prophet and he said to fire off the arrows, and he said if you had kept firing the arrows, you would have completely annihilated your enemy. You have to keep going. Life is about continuously going towards your goal and towards your dreams. It's not about when a challenge happens. To your point, I could have given up. I even had that thought, like maybe I should give up. I worked so hard. They trademarked it. It's over. And I was like, nah. It's not over until I win. Les Brown, I love that quote. It's not over until I win. Until I win. In the beginning, it talks about, be fruitful, multiply, subdue, replenish, and have dominion. Kingdom. That's what I'm on. Dominion. Owning this space for God. Afrofuturism manga. We don't have time for all these other things that they try and put in these manga series. How is it that they will have a series like One Piece where they have the Drums of Liberation for Luffy, but when you look back at the person who actually wrote the book on the Drums of Liberation, Black Sun Comics, thank you so much for joining. When you look at the Drums of Liberation of One Piece, which they literally took Luffy and his heart restarted, you hear the drums. But when you look at the real person who made it up, it's actually a book by Don C. Ohadike called The Sacred Drums of Liberation, where it's about how African people have been able to overcome prejudice, colonialization, all this other stuff through music and religion. Now, why would you want to take out the religious aspect of it and just apply it to another person? But you want to know this until you're a mangaka and actually do the research. This is why we need to own spaces and create and own what it is that we're creating, because at the end of the day, you have to use the power of words, speak the life that you want, and then own it. I'm tired of just seeing people use our culture for their advantage. I saw the DAP in One Piece, but I also saw they had, oh my gosh, the rapping ninja in Naruto, as well as how they have Usopp in One Piece. That's one of the biggest. I talked about this on the podcast, the Geek Salad podcast, because it's crazy. They will take a character like Aesop, take off the AE, because Aesop is from Ethiopia. That's what people believe, even though people try and say it's not. You know it's the case. The AE, Ethiopian. Look at the old way it's spelled. Aesop, Ethiopian. Ethiopia is the only nation in Africa that's never been challenged and actually been conquered and colonized. And then you change him into Usopp in One Piece, who's fearful, he's afraid, he's scared, he's weak, he's not connected to his culture. All these type of negative nonsense. He's got a long, straight nose and these lips that are connected to gollywog. All this type of foolishness. And then it's like, so you will use the culture to benefit you and mock my people. Okay. That's what you did. That's the energy that you're on. God bless. But I'm here to empower, encourage, and inspire our young kings and queens to seize greatness. If you look at African culture, just these languages alone are just beautiful. Just the fact that a Dink was a Bantu language, also Khoi, Zulu, like the actual clicks, that's the X click, the C click, the Q click, even the like like the fricatives. You know how much knowledge and wisdom it takes to actually put that in a word? I thought it was Lulaza. The way I say green and Isiosa is Luhlaza. Like what? Who would think of such a? This is just God-given blessings on these people, man. Like the clicks, the language, the like the actual way how it's spelled and pronounced. It's beautiful. So I want to celebrate that. If they can put Japanese characters speaking Japanese and French and Russian, the Espada in Bleach, Seal Schneider and the Stern Ritter in Bleach, you know, all these different types of languages. They even put homies in One Piece. So I feel if we celebrate our own culture, it will change the game forever. All right. And then I just meant the name, not the entire project. But the name is connected to the project, Selflix Studio. For me to reprint my books and then to change it at this point, after we've already sold hundreds of copies, after you already had a successful Kickstarter, Black Sands Entertainment said BOLDSAGA is pretty damn good. B minus TV literally said this is a manga self-help book. At this point, it's too late to change because we already had success. We already had success from day one because day one was the day we released it. You are successful when you have an idea and then you get it done. And I've come too far to quit, to turn around. This is the burn the bridge moment, burn the boat moment. I'm going all in on this series because I know the value in it. Just the name alone is powerful. And again, words are the greatest catalyst for change. Not words. Stories are the greatest catalyst for change. Stories are based on words. Words change everything. Agreed. Anime and Japanese don't respect black people. I would say maybe as a whole, but I can't say that for every manga or anime character or creator. For example, Hirohiro Araraki, the guy behind JoJo, literally said that when he wanted to put African people in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, he went to Egypt. Muhammad Abdul actually almost looks like an African person. He even has Bantu now. It's like someone did their research. Afro Samurai, Onyan Kapon in Attack on Titan. It's changing. It's changing slowly but surely. It's changing. The respect is starting to be put into actual stories, but I feel the best. It's like this. If I want to have authentic roti, I can either try and eat it from someone else or someone who actually makes that food culturally. If I want actual like ramen, like natural, the best type of ramen, I would go to the people that make it. Same thing with this. If you want authentic black culture in manga format, no one will be able to do it better than African people. Other people may try, they will, but the best people that do it are the people that are connected from a cultural standpoint, not just monetary, because sometimes people like to do diversity for diversity's sake, just so they can get the money. Because yeah, if we put a black face on it, it'll definitely sell. And if you hate us, you're racist. It's all. If it's whack, it's whack. I'm sorry, it just is what it is. This is why movies like Lightyear have been failing. This is why all these other movies like Eternals have been failing. Because at the end of the day, if you just keep trying to inject diversity without authenticity, you will lack representation, which means you lack reality, which means you lack that tactile feeling of reality. It's meaningful to it. Selfless studios, they sure don't. We need our own style. Exactly. King Yeo commandment number 1, thou shalt watch anime. But it's true. We do need our own style. But at the end of the day, we even talk about this in the 7 Steps to Create Your Dream manga series. The way how manga started, you can read the book and see what I'm talking about. People keep thinking it's Japanese, this, that, and the third. It's dope. But it's not just Japanese. And if you read the book, you see what I'm talking about. See, nothing is just created by itself. Like there have been like artistic movements over time, like cubisms and all these other types of styles and arts. And when you look at what these amazing, famous artists have done, they look at other cultures and then they're inspired and then they use it in theirs. It's true. It's true. Picasso's all that's just how life works. People will be inspired by your stuff and then they will blow up on it because they see the value in it that you don't. How many times as we as black creators, this is why I encourage all the black manga creators, stop drawing black versions of Naruto, Goku, Dragon Ball Z, and start drawing your own characters and owning it. I don't even care if you don't get 100,000 likes in the first day. Why? You're blowing up someone who's not going to blow you up. Yes, you could get likes and attention and vanity metrics and maybe a blue check, but how are you impacting your people by drawing Japanese characters as black characters in the long run? Selflix says we need our own style. So many black manga creators and black authors and artists have their own styles that would be great with their own stories. Story is the greatest, like literally, you can only but draw your OC but so many times. And with the advent of AI technology, you putting out your content outside on the internet without a copyright or a trademark literally means any type of Lion 5B database can just scoop up and data launder your stuff. Now you've lost out, and then they'll just reuse your stuff. What you're gonna say? It's your OC? Remember what Obadiah Stane said in Iron Man 1? Tony, just because you have an idea, what makes you think it's yours? What makes you think it's yours? So this is why I encourage you, kings and queens, be wise as a serpent, but gentle as a dove. You have to start thinking long term. And I see the long term value of BOLDSAGA. It's not just an idea, it's a movement. It's a powerful statement. Powerful statement. Literally, we got 4 books done. And when you read all 4, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's about empowering you, not just motivating you, because motivation can go here and there. Discipline is important, but empowerment is great. I feel empowerment is one of the greatest things that you can have, because when you're empowered, you get to that mentality where, no, I know I can do this. See, anyone can tell you can create your own art style, you can create your own manga, you can create your own anime, you can do all of these amazing stuff, but if you don't know you can do it, if you don't know you can do it, you'll never do it. And one of the things that's held me back from making a manga for years in the past, I didn't believe I could write. And then so many times I hear the reviews of BOLDSAGA today, it's like, wow, this writing is amazing. This writing is incredible. Like, oh my gosh, like it's amazing. Like, oh my gosh. And then Evangelist Rooker said, like that, blowing up someone else who is not blowing you up. It's so true. It's literally so true, because at the end of the day, we have to get to that point where we actually look at the value that we have. Too many times we look at the value that we have being, oh, I can work very hard, and that's implementation with our hands. The richest people in the hotel industry aren't the people that are doing room service. They're the hardest working. That's why hard work does not equal grand success and wealth. System strategies and mentality are going to help you. Implementation is not going to help you in the long run. Unification is not going to help you in the long run. That's management. You're over the people who are working hard with their hands. You know what will help you though? I'll tell you the secret: communication and imagination. If you can communicate like I'm talking right now, your ideas, you can get to where you need to get to. If you can imagine your ideas, communication is hundreds of thousands to millions. Imagination is millions to billions. You know how much wealth you can have when you have an idea? This is the power of it all. This is the power of it all. Selfless is joining. Let's see. Set this at accept. Let's see if it actually allows it to go through. Only God knows, King. Only God knows. But I'm telling you, kings and queens, you have to get to that point where you speak it. All right. What's good, King?
Oh, what's going on, bro?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm working right now in animation. So I'm gonna be showing my camera, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm in, man. And I like what I hear, bro. Like your knowledge goes beyond a lot of people I've seen online. Artists. You're definitely half artist, half businessman.
Thank you.
Most people either pure artists or pure businessmen. So I can respect like a lot of the stuff you're saying.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. The reason why I got to this point is my family is like entrepreneurs, my dad and my mom, and other parts of my family. And I said, you know what? When I enter this space, I would rather not enter the space how everyone else is entering the space. Oda, one of my favorite authors, they say he goes to ER 3 times a year or multiple times a year. The guy behind My Hero Academia, he's sick. The guy behind of Berserk just died, and some other creators have had so many sicknesses. I want us to prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prospers. I want us to win, and that's why I'm telling people this stuff right now, because I could have been like, oh yeah, I'm going through these problems. I'll just keep it to myself. But you're right. I want us to share this wealth and get to that point where we're helping each other win on purpose, and win for the long haul.
That's right, and that's the thing you talk about. Having systems. If you don't have systems, manga animation, you're gonna die. It's
Hmm.
gonna kill you. You know,
Hmm.
it's happened in Japan. I forgot what they call it, but
Karoshi, death from overwork.
Kabushi.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
You're right. You're right about that, man. Because it's literally
Yes, listen,
crazy.
man.
We need.
Even me, like,
Yeah.
I'm having a hard, like, super hard time.
Mm.
Um, because I believe in the team system,
Mm.
but sometimes, like, people are not able to do, like, the same quality. You know what I mean?
I
Like, the
know
way you write,
exactly.
if we get in a writing team,
Mm.
the way you write
Mm.
is not the way I write. You know what I mean? So it's going to create, like, inconsistencies in the product.
Mm. It's
And that
crazy.
takes a lot of time, like, to
Mm.
train someone on your style. And that's time you could have been working.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it's not easy when you're like when you're just starting out or when you're just a small like creator that's coming up
Mm.
to build a team. You know?
Mm. You're very right about that because they say we is stronger than me, and it's true. But if I'm not phenomenal, it's hard to attract that we mentality. It takes a while. This is why when I made Bold Saga, I did cover to cover, and then I teach people how to do cover to cover because you're right. Consistency in the quality, just like if you're making cookies or cake, you always want to make sure the end user gets the best quality. And Black Sun said they got a balance. Much respect to you and Bold Saga. Thank you, King, and I appreciate it, man. Keep winning. Um, it's true. It's one of the issues I even have because it's like I have so many ideas for taking the series to the next level with these products, but I also have to pace myself because I've almost Karoshi'd as well to the point I've been to the ER 3 times while working on Bold Saga. And I was like, the last time I was like, never again. I want to live and win. That's the real wealth. Getting the money and then having the systems in place. But I feel that systems are the best thing because without the system, you'll just be working and working and working. Like you need to have the work side of it and you need the marketing side as well. This is why I can only pray for you with like the fact that you were doing animation because I've done animation before. And the last time I did it, I was like, oh my, I can't. Like I did it myself with my wife, like overlooking and things like that for a client. And I was like, ooh, 30 seconds is good, but like 1 minute to 3 minutes, I was like, oh my God. And these Japanese animators do it like all week. I mean, they do it like multiple episodes per week. I mean, I know that they have the time frames and the production cycle, but it's just like,
Yeah.
it's hard. I truly I appreciate animation so much because I know what it is. Knowing about the dope sheets, knowing about the secondary animation, knowing about all these 12 principles, like you guys know a lot. So it's a lot of skill to actually make something as close to life as art is what animation I see. So much respect to you, King.
Appreciate it, man. Definitely self taught. You know. But yeah, production's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember when we had to produce a trailer or something for Black Sands in like 2 weeks. That was
Oh
crazy.
man.
It was like 2 or 3 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks. That very first trailer, like his first animated trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's not easy. My technique right now, I'm working on building a trailer for our original series,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe just one pilot,
Yeah.
and then with the profits we make, you know, through promotion,
Mm-hmm.
um, we're gonna outsource. We're gonna try to outsource, do the storyboards ourselves,
Yeah.
and outsource the work. You know, because that's the way the Boondocks did it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Aaron Magruder had the storyboards done right here, and then they were sent over to South Korea or something,
Yeah.
and you know they did like the animation and the cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
All he had to do was just focus on the writing.
Exactly. So it's less
And that's
stress on
why
him.
that's one of the reasons like his series got canceled too. Like
Mm-hmm.
it takes him a while to write, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it takes him a good while to write an episode. Like he likes taking his time. And the networks, you know, they don't like that. They don't want the quality.
They just want the speed. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Speed is everything. I heard one person say in business, speed kills. That's a positive and a negative. It's a positive because you can kill the procrastination and all the stress by finishing, but it can kill in terms of you can go so hard and so fast you can crash. And the network doesn't care because at the end of the day, like with Jamie Foxx when he had the issue with the stroke, they just found a stunt double to replace him in that role. So at the end of the day, until you own it, you're expendable. And that's the hardest part. It's sad, but it's true. But the business people know this because they will just pay you to use you and your access to your skill set. But when you own it, finding a way to win and own what it is that you're doing, oh man. But you're right, outsourcing does make sense because delegation is key. No man can do it all. We can't.
Exactly. Exactly. And I have some of our artists on our team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of them's in Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
I got some in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
We have some in California, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're all over the place. But it would be great, like if we're building an animation system or art teams to support, our own people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In other countries, that could be like a crazy industry if we applied ourselves. And as far as the platform, I don't know if you ever saw it, right?
Mm.
But that's completely original, owned by us.
Nice.
Because I have friends that made it to Netflix. I have friends that are in Nickelodeon. I could have got referred into those spaces to work as an animator, but it's like you go from project to project. You don't get to work on what you want. You go from project to project, or if you go and pitch your project to them, if anything happens, you have a joke they don't like, it's sexual or something, or they're just canceling some shows, right?
Yeah.
It's like the project you worked and created all your life could easily be canceled, and you can't do anything because they own it. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm not really pursuing any networks. I think we should just build our own stuff because I don't see, I don't know.
You're right.
I don't see any black-owned like streaming platform. I don't see any of that out there. The only thing I knew of was Quelly TV. It was a black TV channel, I think.
Yeah, they are.
And I can't find any traces of it. So it looks like it just disappeared.
I thought Quelly TV was still on Uscreen because I remember they were at Virtuous Con, I think this year. But maybe they're not around anymore.
I don't see it. When I search it up, I don't see it.
Oh, here it is, Quelly.tv. Yeah, they're still around.
How's it spelled?
KWELI period TV. I'll put it here as well. And what they did is they used Uscreen as their platform. I thought that they built the app themselves, but they use Uscreen to do the app, and then they just put their content through the app. So it's their app, but they're using the foundation from Uscreen.
Wow.
Yeah, man. That's another way to get through.
Wow. That's pretty dope. See, I had to build mine from scratch. We're still finalizing it.
Respect. I understand what it is to build things from scratch. It's worth it, though.
You can preview it. Go to Selfix.tv. You can preview the platform.
Nice.
Let's see.
Alrighty. Nice. Got the vibe and everything. You got Shadowborn, Rivalry, King of Gods, Reverence, Genesis X. This is what I love to see, man. We need more stuff like this, man.
Yeah, man. In May we're launching, so it's right around the corner. I'm just waiting for the coder to finalize because we're gonna add new parts, new sections. For example, I want people to be able to preview the shows, on the front page.
Yeah.
Because that's just what streaming platforms do.
Yes, definitely. So that you can actually see what it is. Try before you buy.
Exactly. Yeah.
More power to you, man. At one point, I had planned to get BOLDSAGA animated, but I know what it takes, and I know that for an animated series, you gotta have a lot of fuel. People, like most times when I see these Japanese animes become animated, they have literally put in at least sometimes 50 chapters of their story. So I know if I haven't reached that point, I shouldn't be just thinking deeply about it. Maybe a little animation, a walk cycle here and there, but nothing crazy yet.
I mean, the advice I'll give you, since your style doesn't look like super complicated, right?
At this point, no. because I'm trying to make it quick-ish, so it can be done multiple times.
So if you did want to get into animation, what I would do is get software called Moho, right? Moho Pro.
Yeah.
Going to let you build a turnaround of your character. You know.
Nice.
If you animate the eyes, the mouths, those are going to be permanent assets you get to use over and over. You know what I mean? So
yes.
you're only really animating once.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to do a side view of your character, you're only ever doing it once. I'm working on that software to develop assets to make available to like different people that want to animate.
That's
And it'll be in different styles too. Family Guy, if you want the Boondock style, you know, we're doing all the styles. Or the common styles.
That was the question I was going to ask you. Like, are you putting systems in place like done for you services or done with you services? Because I love what you guys are doing. And that's what I'm even evolving into myself, because nothing is wrong with low ticket, all these other stuff. But, you know, this is a business. You know, it's not just charity. You want to be able to sustain your family. You're going to have to raise prices for certain things. So that's why I want to know if you have like any like premium value offer in the 3K, 5K, 10K, 20K range.
Well, I spent years doing for you services or work for you services. It's just, you know, there's a lot of demand out there, and you're just one man. So building the systems and then training people on how to use the systems, I think that's what's going to help us better. Especially in the West. I don't know if you're on the West side of the world, are you?
I'm in New York.
New York? Oh, okay. Yeah, especially with Western animation, definitely systems.
Yeah, man, because anybody trying to draw all this stuff day and night.
Definitely look into Moho. They even have bone systems. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh yeah, I've done animation in 2D before. I remember I used to use Anime Studio Pro back in the day.
Oh,
and that was
that's
one.
Moho. That's Moho.
And then Clip Studio Paint, I know that they have an animation feature. I don't know if it's as advanced as Moho's own.
It's more advanced, but it's more for frame by frame people. It's not a bone system, so. And then there aren't like many asset systems either.
Yeah, it's just if you want to just draw it out.
Exactly. If you want to be conservative, you go to Moho. If you want to conserve energy, you go to Moho. And if you want to go all out, you know, frame by frame, you do Clip. Right now, I'm using Clip.
Yeah.
But in the future, I'll be especially for long projects, I'll just be building out like front view, side view, back view of all the characters like in my projects, and then just using that whenever it's needed.
Nice. That's the thing, man. To get to that point where you have a system in place and you can keep using it again and again and again, because that's the whole reason why I do, like, for example, it's why I did a logo. I did it in vector, so I don't have to keep worrying about, oh my gosh, gotta redraw my logo every time. Anybody want all that? You just want to have something in place that you can use and use and use. You don't have to be worrying about, oh my gosh, how am I gonna get this done? Blah 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 blah. I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Exactly. The more assets you build, the better, I guess, life is. You know?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, man. That's why I'm trying to just take with BOLDSAGA. It's one book, and then got like coloring books and other assets coming off from that same thing. So you don't have to be draw. So thank you so much for joining, King. Yeah, the goal is just finding a way to win that's not going to destroy you. Because I would hate to get to the top of the mountain just to die and fall off of it. Like nobody wants that. That's dangerous and it's sad. So I'd rather just find a way to win. And as you mentioned, you're right. When you own the creative process, you don't have to be beholden to someone. I finally made it to the top. Now we don't like you. We cancel you. At all. I would never put my destiny in someone else's hand like that. That's just too dangerous. Too dangerous of a risk. So owning the thing, getting it, and then making a system for it so you can have it. So it makes sense in the long run. So you can feed your family, you can feed your children's children, all these other things. It's possible.
Exactly. It's all about assets too. That's why YouTube works so well, right? Every time you make a video, if you have an audience, but every time you make a video, that single video is an asset. is going to make you money every time someone clicks it and watches, like, the ad runs. You know what I mean?
I know exactly
And
what
I
you're talking
noticed,
about.
right, and I noticed as well, like, on the app stores or whatever games, whatever little games, like, you ever seen the games where there's just like an army of little dudes and they're like running through these maths, they're like multiplying?
Yes.
You seen that ad?
Yeah.
All these people do is just take take like a game, change the assets a little bit,
Mm.
and then just run ads on those games. And they're making money at all times of the day, right?
That's the
So it's
goal.
like this little things like that we gotta kind of like pay attention to. What are the white people doing?
Exactly. Like it just makes sense
Yeah,
because if we're just working, it's like who said it? One of these billionaires, they're like, if you can't, Warren Buffett is, if you can't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die.
exactly,
That
exactly.
disturbed me. I'm like, how does this book thing work? Oh man, but
Yeah,
you're
it's all
right.
about assets, man. And I like your mindset, bro. Like I could tell you're awake. You see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about the woke stuff. I just mean like you're a realist. Like you can see, you
Thank you.
know, um, how things are going.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all about like owning assets. I've made an app, and I'm planning to do the same thing they're doing.
Yep. Run
You know,
ads.
I'm gonna get the games that they have, the popular games you keep seeing ads for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run ads to them all day, and that's just.
Exactly. And then would you have a subscription system where if someone paid, they could remove the ads as a higher tier or no?
Yeah. Because I've done
Exactly.
that before. I've
Hmm.
done that before, and it worked. And I was surprised. I'm like, oh, like people actually paid to take the ads off.
Yeah,
I was
man.
surprised.
You're making money on the front and the back end. That's what I'm talking. See, we need more creatives like you and more discussions like this because too many times people are like, how can I draw my OC? Boys, what you really should be asking is, OC, how can you be working for me? Put you in these streets. People want to talk about digital assets, digital avatars. Man, OC better get to work. Better represent the
Assets, yeah,
brand.
assets are important. Exactly. Now, if it was like, okay, I'm gonna have an asset pack that you can apply to any OC,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That would sell.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about it's all about assets, man. All about assets.
Exactly. And then another thing I learned from my mentor is when you make your assets, you got to think like 5 to 10 times down the road of every problem, every solution I create provides 10 new problems. How can I position myself to answer these problems? Like we just mentioned, you have the ad version, your solution to the ad version provides new problems. Like I don't want to watch ads. Now they pay you to get removed of the ads. This, that, and the third. So it's just
Yeah.
always finding a way to position yourself to win in the long run, long money and short money.
And these games and stuff,
Yeah.
you could actually go buy them. The people who created them,
Yeah.
they're selling them on like websites, right? Where you can just
Mhm.
go buy the game, then you get someone off Fiverr, they hook the ads up for you, and your whole
Mhm.
game's running, right?
Mhm.
And all you gotta make sure, I mean, I guess the only investment, you gotta run about, I don't know, $20 a day or something, or $20 a week, like
Mhm.
to basically run ads, like run ads on your game, make it
Yeah.
show up on Instagram and TikTok, right?
Mhm.
And that's the system.
Exactly. And then it's just making that's my goal, man, to make money while I'm asleep. That's one of the best things. I remember Grant Cardone was talking about it. I went to sleep with one type of money. I woke up with new money. That's the kind of life I want to be on, man. It's waking up to new money.
Oh yeah,
And if they can do it, we can do it.
definitely, definitely, yeah.
Exactly. And I'm very encouraged, man. I can't wait. Yo, everyone that's watching this live, check out cellflix.tv. That's the website, right?
Uh, well, I'm not linking anyone to the website yet, but
But
they can
just
check
to
out my
look, yeah, so that
profile.
by the time it does launch, people will be aware of it. Yeah, I'm on it right now.
Yeah, Suffix.tv. That's the website.
Cellflix.tv. Check it out. They're gonna launch. You said June, right?
No, May.
May. What? He said it was around the corner. He's going to deliver on it. It's cellflix.tv. Put it down here as well. So again, this is the whole reason why this talk started. It was BCICF, which is the Boston Comics and Color Festival, which is this week, and the power of words. This is word of mouth. because anyone can put up an ad, and ads are great. But people believe things from people that they trust, know, like, and trust. So bam, selflix.tv. We need more of that.
Man, Black Sands, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Black Sands has killed it with ads, man. He's the
Mm-hmm.
ad god. He's
You
the
be having
god
them
of ads.
ads ready.
Facebook, man. Facebook, you know?
Exactly.
That
Facebook Pixel
Facebook
and all that.
targeting.
I'm telling you, man,
That,
it works. It just works.
yeah, you should definitely. I don't know if you're familiar, if you ran any before, but that's definitely like something to learn.
Yeah, man. Just putting like 20 a day, have the right targeting, the right groups, knowing your
Yeah,
metrics, and then going from there. I've done it before, but I feel the next time I do it, I'll do it with an expert, or at least read up enough about it. Because last time I did it, it was average. But then, it's dealing with so many other things. Since I'm doing cover to cover, I'm putting the energy into so many other avenues. But ads are important because no matter how many times you post, that's not enough. They're squandering it. They're not going to let you reach your audience. But if you pay them ad money, unless you're doing Prince EA type of style, which is one thing I want to get to. You've heard about him before, right?
Prince EA.
Yeah.
No, I never heard of that.
Ah, check him out, man.
Is that? Are they like? Do they make books?
What Prince EA does, he does speeches, motivational speeches, and he does different discussions. He was able to reach, how much did he say? 1 billion people without paying for ads, all on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. 1 billion people with no ad money. I'm like, what the? But when you listen to the way how he's talking, his videos are popping. He'd be like, kids, I'm sorry we destroyed your world. It's like, what? All type.
Same thing. Same thing with
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Tate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't want to bring him up. He's so controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, you know. He took over that algorithm like crazy.
Yeah, that's why you can't be afraid to. If Kings and Queens, if you're watching this and you have something controversial to say, as long as it's respectful, don't be afraid to say it. That's why I will forever be talking about the whack excellence of Killer Bee, Usopp, all these other characters in these animes. Because at the end of the day, it's not respect. Get yourself some authentic black representation. Selflix.tv, Akachi Jones, Juaso Graphics with his merch and his manga. Like, get to the actual real creators that are doing this. Not the people who are just doing it for money, but the people who are doing it because they respect the culture.
Definitely.
Hmm. And that's what I'm on right now. Are you? I'm listening. What are you saying?
No, I was saying, I had a friend, right? He was in the Navy
Mm-hmm.
about 2020, 2021, right? He was telling me, you know, in Japan, they still have restaurants that have signs on them that say no black people. You know what I mean?
I'm not surprised.
So it kind of like it annoys me really, like when I see, oh, I want to make anime or black anime. It's like we're drenching ourselves with this culture that doesn't even respect us. You
Mm-hmm.
know? So I don't know.
You have a perfect right to have that opinion, and I love the fact that you brought that up. Because at the end of the day, when I look at American comics, it's to a degree it's better, but let's not forget the disrespect that happens in manga and anime, all that gollywog and minstrel stuff came from American comics. And when they got rid of the minstrel shows, they put all that violence inside of Looney Tunes and all the other stuff that we watched throughout the years. People still want to work for Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, all these other animation companies and still make American style comics. When you go back enough, you'll see that there's disrespect one way or another. But what I do like is if these people are going to try and use black people and black faces to push diversity for diversity's sake and make their money, then I will come into your space and make a table before me in the presence of my enemies and show you authentic black representation. Why? Because even if you don't like me, I'm gonna come over and take over your space. How about that?
I like that.
You set up a table.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, just like what you're doing with animation, because I know that people will try and say that you can't animate or this, that, and the third, just in general. People will always try and put their limitations on you, or then try and say that you're doing an anime and you can't do that. You can do whatever you want, and I feel that we will create our own style once we first get the word out that we are doing what we're doing in scale. Because I remember even people have told me I should make my own style. Don't just say manga. That is nice, but until I have a big enough audience or until it's global, then you change. Like even when you look at how manga started, manga didn't just start as manga. The man them Tezuka and them in the past, they did research on other people, cultural diffusion, and then they made their own style, and then they called it manga.
Yeah, when they were making anime, they were basically, Hayao Miyazaki is the grandfather of anime. He was studying Disney films,
Mm-hmm.
and
Same
then
with.
he just basically decided, okay, for the motion that's not important, we're gonna take out those frames. We're not gonna do those frames,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're going to just do the keyframes and then ease them out.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah.
not gonna do a bunch of in betweens like Disney, so we could save on budget.
Yeah.
And that's how anime was born.
Exactly. And that's why I can't wait to see it because we know that, as Melissa Kimbrough said it, this world is not moving without black creativity. And Isaac Hayes even said it. There's nothing cooler on this planet than black people. So once we come into our own and have our own style, once we've mastered what it is that we're doing, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be magnificent. And I can't wait for kings and queens to see it because, oh, you think manga is popping. You think anime is popping. Okay. Just like how they thought Disney was popping 100 years ago. Well, it's 100 years later. Something about to pop off. And I can't wait for kings and queens to see whatever that style is, whether it's Selflix, studios with their style, or whoever else is animating. We got to support our own because, black wealth is power. We support and buy so many other people's mangas and, One Pieces and Naruto's and Bleach. But when was the last time we actually went out and bought other people's stories, other black kings and queens creations, other people's animations like Ellis and the Cloud Kingdom? That is by Cerise Rennie Murphy. She's behind Virtuous Concrete Comics. Like you can't just talk about we want to change the game and we want to get wealth without supporting other people because life is reciprocal. And if you want to become great, you have to support other people on their journey to become great. Like we're having this discussion right now because we want to see our people win, not just we win, but our people win.
Definitely. And to add to that,
Mm-hmm.
I think we should also make our own platforms as much as we can
Mm-hmm.
because this Instagram stuff, Facebook, you're getting Facebook growth, you're building your audience on YouTube, you're doing all of that. But the minute they don't like what you're doing, or the minute you rub them the wrong way, or you just have an opinion
Mm-hmm.
that's different from what the media is saying, they'll shadow ban.
Oh,
First of
definitely.
all, first of all, most people are reaching like a quarter of their audiences. You're not
Mm-hmm.
even getting to reach 100% of your audience. But if you build your own platform, mailing list, and that kind of like stuff, it's powerful. I mean, you can look at Black Sands. Like,
Mm-hmm.
been around him a little bit. He's built his own. He's built his own mailing list, so it doesn't matter what's going on social media. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if they're blocking him, shadow banning like the things he's saying,
Mm-hmm.
he's able to access his people, his base. And we all got to do
Exactly.
the same thing, or else they own us. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
I definitely
Look
know
at
what you mean.
Andrew. Look at Andrew, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said some crazy stuff like here and there, but to cut someone's bank account off because of their opinions, to ban them from all platforms,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think it's something that's just going to become more common. So we just need to own our own stuff because they're shadow banning. They're shadow banning. You're not reaching 100% of your audience unless you pay. So a lot of people come online. I came online, right?
Yeah.
All motivated. Oh my God, I'm gonna build. I'm gonna go crazy, right? I
Mm-hmm.
built my first page ever, Pride Studios, right?
Yeah.
Built it to 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, they told me, oh, someone was trying to log in your account, and we've disabled it. Contact us. Send us your ID, your picture, whatever, and then we'll get unblocked. Did all that. I didn't hear a peep
Mm.
from Instagram, right? So I lost like that entire page. Um, so that's why it's important.
I'm telling you, man. It's like what who said it? I think it was DG too. We don't need them, but they need us. Because what we're basically doing every time we post YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all that, we're feeding their algorithm with content to put space between so that they can put their ads in between it. So we're building them up,
Exactly.
and then they're also, as you mentioned, you only get a 1/4%, maybe 1% of your actual audience to actually like.
Exactly.
It's crazy, but you know what the best part about that is? Since we know that's what they're doing, we can use it to our advantage and support other creatives. Like, are you familiar with Fanbase?
I think I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
Yeah, I think as Black creators, we need more. We need to be on apps like that, and like we can folk. Because what Fanbase does is that they're a platform where
Mhm.
you can put up your content, and they don't have an algorithm. So if you have your people, they will share it to your people, whoever your audience is. Snoop Dogg is on it. I know. What's that other guy? I forgot his name. The guy behind the Rap City. Um, Big Tigger and other people that are famous are on the app as well. I think it's a good thing to not just use these current algorithms and YouTube and Facebook alone, but look into other platforms whose goal is to share your content directly to your audience. Like it's great because then you get the reach. And what they do is they have a subscription platform where you can have your content. If you want, people can like it, which is nothing, or they can love it, which is just like a thumbs up, and then love it, and then they can give you money. And as you continuously get enough loves, that will be like cents, and that can become dollars in time. Or you can do a subscription of like $3.99, I think 5, and then 12. You can have like your content private and paid. Like before Instagram did the subscription method that they're doing, and all that, and all the other platforms, Fanbase did it first. So I'm not surprised that
Really smart.
Fanbase would have their gold is like actually verified by people that work in the business, and I think blue check is just your celebrity. Now I see Twitter doing that. I see all the other platforms are gonna do the same thing because you know how it is. Black people create something dope, and then other people innovate on top or try and like utilize it. So I feel we need to get into brand new Don. Thanks for joining. We need to get into other spaces and other places alone, not just where we are, but looking for other places that will help us grow.
Definitely. Pretty smart. Let me see. Let me check it out right now.
Yeah, I'll put it in as well for anyone looking for amazing platform. I think it's fanbase.app. There's another fan base that tried to try and take this space.
Fanbase.
Yeah, I think that's it. I'm on there and I have to post more. It's an issue I have because sometimes I'm just so busy creating stuff, I don't get up and post to it, which is the lazy side of me. But fanbase.app, check it out. Find places that you can actually showcase your work, other things like that. In your industry, Selflix, does it help to be in person at events, or do you just work digitally and then showcase your work to your clients?
Uh, well, my mindset, I can tell you what my mindset is.
Mm-hmm.
Once I start marketing and going crazy,
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a man on every job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a guy, his name's Johnny. I
Mm-hmm.
can introduce you to him. He's amazing at um, Facebook and Instagram ads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's in that position. If we're gonna have someone go in person and be a presenter and have some kind of event,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be someone that specializes in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So with my teams and the things I do, I try to get the people that are best at things are doing that area, right? It's not just me doing every area.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't done anything in person, but if I do, I'm gonna have someone who's just like a great presenter. Do it. Because what I want to do is I want to do what I'm good at, right?
Mm-hmm.
The animation, the cleanup, the writing, like the production, and then every member we have do it like what they specialize at.
Mm-hmm.
That just it makes everything run smoothly. It makes everything run like really well, as opposed to be like an animator, but you're doing ads, you're doing everything, and it's like you have all the skills, but you have mastered none. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
I know. And then the end of the phrase is, but is often better than a master of one. Like
Exactly.
you need that whole specialization, but I feel on the come up, sometimes you may have to master one or two extra things until you get to that point where you can specialize and hire specialists. Because it always comes back to the money because if you don't have the funds to hire other people, then you can only go but so far. So that's why systems are important. That's why having assets that can generate revenue for you are important. Premium value offers is something I'm learning more about. as I do my studies, because if I can get like 3 or 4 people to pay like 10K, 4K, whatever, it allows you to have more cash available for other assets for your business. Not that charging $97 and stuff is bad. It's just if you have a low ticket offer, the more I know, the more I realize that low ticket requires more advertising, which requires more money to go on top to sell a lower ticket item. So charging premium is great because you can get the funds upfront to help fund your mission, fund your business, things of that nature. That's why we even do at Great Gale. We're opening opportunities to help people create their book cover to cover as a children's book. We're offering opportunities to create your book and your website so you can have the book and the website to sell your product, as well as ghostwriting and other types of things, because sometimes you just need help. Nothing is wrong with that. And you just have to find people who are great at what they do and have proof, evidence, social proof. So that's what I'm opening it up to.
Yeah, high ticket is very important,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like a double-edged sword, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I've paid high ticket stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's just a guy that teaches you like, okay, I paid a guy, let's see, what, 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to just have the knowledge on Facebook ads, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to be ignorant on the topic. I already had someone to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to understand like how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that person just opts out, then it's like, you know,
Yeah.
paid about 150, something like that for that class,
Mm-hmm.
and he just seemed like he knew everything, right? But the signs were there. I was looking at his Instagram. I'm like, well, he's dry for someone that's an expert with ads. Like, the
Mm-hmm.
IG's pretty dry. I'm not seeing the numbers, but I took the class anyway, and basically he just taught the philosophy of ads.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta say something to get people's attention because the attention uh, span is short.
Mm-hmm.
But going through the whole thing, he never actually thought this is how you go. This is a step. This is the behind the scenes. This is
Mm-hmm.
where you put in your ad. This is where this is where you run the ad. Like he didn't
Mm-hmm.
show any of the technicalities. He just showed the philosophy of it, which was valid. Like just a lot the things he was
Mm-hmm.
explaining, you're legitimate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not what was promised. So a lot of people just they didn't they didn't continue with him. They didn't continue buying his products. Same thing happened to me with trucking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trucking is like the biggest, the most lucrative industry, and you don't even need a degree for that to be a dispatcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could make what doctors make without a degree, right?
Yeah.
And I want to learn it like from these people that said they knew it.
Mm-hmm.
$400 class. They never even took us to like this is your first dispatching. Let's call this client together. Whatever. They never went through like demonstration,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that was another L. But it sounds like what you're doing, you have demonstration. You are holding people's hands, so
Yeah, the
it
way
sounds
how
like
I
you're doing
teach,
it.
I don't,
Yeah.
one thing I don't like doing is if I say I'm going to do something and then don't finish it and show you. There's one area where I have to upgrade on that. But the reality is that I'd hate to just say I can show you how to make a book and then I don't. Which is why when I made the 7 steps book, that is the precursor of everything else I have going forward. I made the book and within 24 hours, someone literally said they read the book within the first 24 hours of it being released. Someone read the book, they loved it, and then they said, this is the only book, the only resource you need to create your dream manga. Because I hate when people say they're going to show you something and then what they do is, from what I'm hearing, what you explained, a lot of people like to show strategies but not tactics. You need both to win the war against poverty, the war against negligence, the war against procrastination. You're going to need strategy, which is your plan of attack, and then you're going to need the tactics, the actual tools, the actionable items. I don't have time to just teach you just strategy or tactics. You need both. So that's what I did. In every area that I teach, I want to do the exact same thing. I want you to learn strategy. I want you to learn tactics. Because with the tactics, you can physically put in the work. And then with the strategy, you have the mindset so that you can win. So that's what it is going. And we have the proof. So it's not like I'm just saying it and then, maybe I'll do it. But give me the money like we actually did it first. Now we can, just like with the Kickstarter, we did our Kickstarter after we finished chapter 1. After we finished chapter 1 and basically we're done chapter 2. Let's think of something. So that's what I want more people to see, because once you find the way how to do something, it changes the game. All you need is one. All you need is one, because once you get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 are available. Like this week, my goal is to, God willing, have these other 4 or 5 books done, so that I can just have them out and just show people that we do self-publishing differently, because I'd rather educate you. And that's the thing. We need more education in these spaces where people don't feel stupid. I was just listening to Markwell Russell earlier, and this guy went from $50,000 years to $50,000 weeks and days, because he went and did systems and he did high ticket. But what he did was he had different teaching methods. I didn't hear all of it, but the part I did hear was he had different teaching methods for different types of people. Some people need to learn by actually looking on the board and seeing notes. Other people are more auditory. Other people are kinetic. So don't make, like what they said, that phrase, it basically goes that if you try and judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, you'll always feel stupid. So then why would someone ever try and think that everyone has to learn the same way? The fish was not meant to climb the tree. Fish is meant to swim. The bear can climb the tree, an ant can climb the tree, different animals, but there's different methods to do it. Which book was that? 7 Steps? I need that. I'll put the name of the book right here. It's called 7 Steps to Creating a Dream Manga Series. How to save thousands of dollars, and how anyone can create their dream manga series while saving thousands of dollars and years of time. Like we literally show you that. I literally give away my printer, the person who I used to make my books. Now I could have just been like, now you got to pay me $50,000 for that, but I'd rather you know, because if you know, you won't get played. I don't want you to go through what I went through. I'd rather you win on purpose.
It's definitely valid. What you said was definitely valid. I had to learn that like in school. Right? I just hated school. Like I didn't get why it was so like annoying and difficult. Then I realized like, oh crap. Like I read this book where it said that people have different learning styles, and I had to learn what my learning style was, right? And for me, it's like first you display it, and then we do it. We actually do it, right? So I'm a hands-on learner. And as soon as I learned that, I went from being a C student to a straight A student. It's crazy. So yeah, learning style. Definitely, people have different learning styles. Once you learn that, once you find out what your learning style is, it'll take you a week to learn stuff. I remember even increasing our art quality.
Yeah.
I was seeing this guy. His name's Vladir. Let me see if I could pull him up. Definitely put you onto this guy. Like his art is crazy.
Love it.
Right? Recently, like just I don't know how long ago, maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I realized like, damn, if I'm gonna be, if we're gonna be a platform, we need to compete against like Netflix quality, like that Castlevania quality, right?
Yeah.
And so I found this dude, and he was doing the exact quality, and I was able to absorb his quality in 2 weeks. First, I went in, paid him a little money. He sent me his files, and then I studied how his files work. Then I recreated his work. First of all, right? I recreated like his work, and then I applied it to my work. And I kept every morning, even though like I learned it, I kept recreating his work, like his pieces, until I had his style now.
Exactly.
I'm gonna try to put his name so you guys can see. He's great, bro.
Nice. Yeah, because sometimes there's like tacit learning. There's some type of learning you will only get by actually doing it, not just thinking it, doing it.
Definitely. Even though it's obvious, like the technique is just obvious. You have to do it. You have to go through it.
Yeah.
It's like your mind has to see you do it physically for the skill to really like lock in like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because your skills is your wisdom, and that's what really allows you to like get that wealth. Because your skills will bring you before like the great people. When you're diligent in your work, you're diligent because you're skilled in your work, and when you're diligent and skilled, it just brings you before. Like literally, I was at an event for a book signing for one of my friends, Janelle, and she has a book on self-care, The Hard Truths of Self-Care. Great book to read. Definitely check it out. At the event, And then in the middle of the event, she's basically like, and anyone else that's in the room, you never know who you're in the room with. So please come up and introduce yourself. Between Magic and Dreams, thanks for joining. So then I'm talking, and then I have all my books on me. I talk about BOLDSAGA, I talk about we're here to empower kings and queens. By the end of the event, not only do I talk to someone who can really help me grow the business and be able to connect with the book with kids and schools and that, I actually met someone who's connected to someone major that's coming to the book signing I'm having. So all that happened because I went to support someone else. This is why you got to get to events, kings and queens, and just talk to people like people, because you just don't know who you're talking to.
Definitely.
So yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I just sent let's see. I just sent the name. You can click through, maybe. It says
Yeah, Valder underscore art. Nice.
man, right?
Yes, I'm gonna look it up right now.
Man, with quality, that quality, bro. I had to go learn that.
Nice. Ah, I spelled it wrong. I put one other L letter. VALDIHR underscore art. There we go. Oh yeah, this guy's an artist. Just by the logo alone, I can tell this guy's an artist. I love it. This is that
Now, if you
Netflix
scroll through
style.
it,
Ah,
right?
this is nice, man.
If you scroll through it,
Hmm.
he has that Netflix quality in it. Like you can look at his work and be
Hmm.
like, yeah, Castlevania, like same quality,
You can
right?
see it, man.
Um,
It's flat and the cell shaded, but there's like a kind of ambiance to the skin, like with the subsurface scattering. Nice. It is. This is a professional right here.
and bro, as soon as I saw that,
Mm-hmm.
I just went ham. Like I had to go meet this man, learn the style. 2 weeks, I was going in like maybe 8 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
right? That took me no time. And now
Exactly.
we're applying it to our own series.
Exactly. That's what you got to do. First principles. Find what people are doing that are winning. Emulate, empower, and use it for your advantage. That's how the people did it. And when they made manga, Tezuka and Miyazaki, and they looked at what was winning. They used it and then they model it into their art flow. They model it into their art style. Even in the 7 Steps to Create Your Dream Manga series book that I made, I literally put a quote from Tezuka where he literally says that I was inspired by these two people, and I put it in my work because I looked at the industry and I said, "Nah, man, y'all is you're missing this big area. I'm gonna put it in my style," and that's what made the story and the style change and blow up to where it is now. So what you're doing is great. You have to model what works and works for you. So yeah, man, I love it. I'm definitely following. Yep, following right now. This guy can draw.
Definitely.
Oh, draw. This is awesome. But yeah, man. I'm just excited, man. I'm looking forward to it. This weekend with Boston Comics and Color Festival, having this discussion with you. This is why you need to get out kings and queens and just talk to people. Have events, have lives. Just talk because you never know. I didn't know you were going to come on the live, honestly. You were commenting and I appreciate it because you asked like some really great questions. I hope, did I answer all the questions that you had? Or
Um, oh, I do have a few questions just about you though.
yeah, that's fine.
For how long, like, have you been drawing, and when did you have to start having, those dreams, you know, to do what you do?
The dream that led to Bolt Saga?
Yeah.
I had been into manga since a kid because I used to draw mazes. Just something about the lines of mazes, the technicality and taking people on journeys always made me smile because I always like to create something and step back and then watch people enjoy it. That just makes me smile. That's what mazes were. And then Dragon Ball Z came on. I'm like, oh, this is cool, man. This is cool. Because at that point, I was only seeing Superman and Spider Man and the face and all the superhero stuff. It was great. But as I got older, I'm like, there's got to be something better. And I remember I went to Barnes and Nobles, saw Aaron McGruder with his Boondocks, saw Calvin and Hobbes, and that's cool. Kept walking. Then I saw One Piece Volume One, and when I held it, I can't explain it to you, man, but it just felt magnetic, like something special about this series. Ironically, years later, I moved back to the Caribbean. I forgot about One Piece as I got older, and then I saw the TV show. I'm like, this is that manga I read years ago. So while it's going on, I'm like telling my friends, oh yeah, I know what's gonna happen in chapter this. I know it's gonna happen in this chapter and that chapter. And it's just been a ride ever since. But that was the moment when I held the book and I realized in Barnes and Nobles I have to create manga because it looked simple enough that I could do it. You have to get to the point where you see something that you know from a sole point that you can do it. I asked my dad, can you get me a book on how to draw manga? He gets me a book, not on heroes, but villains. I love the book though. I'm never going to be mad at it. I'm laughing at it every time. And then from that point on, I kept learning to draw and draw and draw and draw. Most of my time learning was like 10 years, so like 2013, no, 2003 up until like 2010, 12, 13. I was just learning to draw. Got into college because I drew so much. When they had an art competition, people were bringing in 1 or 2 drawings. I pull out my thing. I was like, boom. Now I dropped the mic, dropped like 100 mics. So it's like hundreds of pieces of art. That helped me get through to college. And college was weird because these professors were saying, some of them, not the ones I had, but some of them were saying you can't use manga as an art style because it's not professional art. Meanwhile, I remember one of my professors had fine art and it was a 50-foot t-shirt on a hanger. So don't tell me about this is not art. Don't tell me about, don't do that. Don't do that. Art is in the eye of the beholder and it's all about sending a message. And I got into making manga professionally. And what led to the dream and the journey was that I had been drawing, but then in college, I'm like, oh, this whole graphic design thing is stupid. And ironically, I'm still a graphic designer. But what I told myself is once I finish college, I don't want to ever do this again. I'm going to be a video game developer, which is the whole reason why I was in college. I wanted to go to Full Sail, couldn't afford it. So I was like either fine art or graphic design. Graphic design was the closest I could see to video games. While I was in college, I learned about Unity. I learned about WeTransfer and all these other things that helped me on my journey. Years later, I got a certificate in game development, worked on a 2D game, finished it, but then I realized the amount of other things I'm going to need to do this is too much. I'm going to switch up. And this is right after I got married. I'm like, I can't keep doing this. It's been 4 years of failures. I only got one game done in 4 years. This is horrible. Why don't I go back to what I love? And this is what happened. I was helping my dad one day, sitting down, I think it was a Starbucks. And I was like, I need something different, something to change. And I was like, it's got to be different because Spider-Man exists, Batman exists, Naruto, One Piece. I don't want to do what they did. I want to do something different. And then what happened, because the game I made, the character was blonde. They were blue-eyed, blue hair, and they were half black, half Japanese. And I said to myself, even though I like this character, a voice was like, why do you like this character who doesn't look like you or your family? Do you not like your own skin? Do you not like your brothers and your mother and your father and your sister? And I was like, I do. He's like, okay, then. So what is that saying about them if your hero for your first story doesn't even look like them or even connect culturally to them? Because I was on the Naruto mentality. The blonde hair, blue eye equals getting success. And while that may be true, it's not building group esteem. So I went all in, changed it up, and then BOLDSAGA happened while I was helping my dad. I was just waiting and I was thinking, because some ideas just drop in your spirit. I'm like, why don't I do something different? Why don't I make a Nancy? I was like, oh, snap. And then as I kept studying, I was like, but he can't just be a Nancy because that's a DC superhero and people have already done the story of a Nancy. So I was like, I'll switch it. Innovation. I'll make a Nancy a title, and the first Nancy will be Shaka Zulu. So now I have Shaka Zulu, who people will know from a historical standpoint, who's building up people's esteem because he was an amazing, war hero. He was a chief. He created all these strategies. He changed the Asagai to the Ikloa. Like all these achievements he's done. He whooped them people in there. The Dutch people that tried to catch up on him. Shaka Zulu is awesome. So I put him in the first chapter, and every other chapter going on, it's about how the main character is trying to be like that. So it's just been a journey from that point. And that's why I work so hard on it. I don't want to give up, and I choose not to give up on it because I know the value of this. I've only touched on just the base. This is Afrofuturism we're doing in manga. Nobody does it like this. Most Afrofuturism that I've seen, the only one I can think of off the top of my head is, was it Oblivion Rouge or Tuskegee Heirs? It's either American style comics, right? And they put in a fusion of that and manga, or it's manga, but it's Afrofuturism, but it's more on the futuristic side, but not on the depth of cultural side. You know what I mean? Like how in BOLDSAGA, they literally be eating roti, they eat griot or dirigeon. They're actually talking sapase nabule, like actual Haitian Creole. They actually have like hip hop in it, not Killer Bee whack bars. Like there's actually a DJ called DJ Morefire One and DJ Easy Basso. Morefire, Easy Basso is also for oil, so oil and fire. That's just dope. And they literally like, I got limits. He's actually have the mic and everything. Like that's our culture, man. And like literally, they got the African martial arts in Guni stick fighting, capoeira, and sangwe, because I wanted to showcase if these people don't respect us in Japan and this, that, and the third with their stories, evidently, not everyone, but so many of them keep doing it. I don't want to just go into your lane to fit in. I want to go into your lane to stand out and show just how dope we are. If you don't see it, that's fine with me. Because the coolest thing on this planet is a black person. I'm just being honest. And once we create our own things, that's what Isaac Hayes III said. There's nothing cooler on this planet than black people. I don't care what anyone says. You want to be cool. I was watching Sword Art Online. They doing dap. I'm like, who taught you to dap? Who taught you to dap? I'm watching One Piece. They're talking about homies. Really? And who taught you that? Oh, then when he dapped up the person, the hip hop in it. Come on now, come on. It's evidently black people. It's evidently African culture. So I want to show that and empower our people so that they don't just have to subject themselves to having spiky hair with their characters. Because when I drew manga characters, myself as one, I was a spiky haired character with cat ears. But now I don't have to see that because I built up my self-esteem and my group esteem so I can see myself and create characters that look like my family and empower us as a people.
That's powerful, man.
Thank you. That was a great question.
Put that in front of the right audience. Like, I just think you need like the right amount of eyes on you, you know, because the stuff you're saying, powerful. You know what I mean? It'll take no time for you to build like a big base. You know, you just need to increase reach.
You're right. But my issue I have is I want to increase reach because I know I come from like a business background since I'm a graphic designer, so you have to know how to talk to people. So talking is not my issue. My issue is that I love the creating side. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like we're having a great conversation right now. And I like making people feel heard and not like trying to bring them down when talking. I don't like talking down to people. I like talking to people because I've been down so many times. I don't want anyone to feel like that. But I feel my issue is the challenge of between creating a product that's worthwhile and that actually will serve my audience with excellence, whereas also marketing said product so people can see it. Because when I got on Black Sands radar and they said, "Damn, BOLDSAGA is pretty damn good," it was after I was posting day and night. I had so much fire just going off, but that slowed me down from releasing the second chapter. So it's like the trade-off between people seeing you and having a sustainable series. This is why in the future we'll get other people to work for us. But for now, I'm doing it because I want it to be authentic. Because when I thought about it, I was like, I could hire someone else as an artist. But then God is like, look at the other people around you. This person at a Kickstarter had to restart it 2 or 3 times. I think they failed it because their artist switched up. Because finding an artist for a long-term series that's manga is very hard. Because people can leave. And then your style is switched up. But if you own the style and you create it, that's why it takes me a while to make chapters because we do cover to cover to avoid that type of like change. But I'm going to get to that point. And that's where the high ticket comes in. High ticket, fund the business, hire more people, get in front of more places. That's why I can't wait because this weekend we're going to have our first in-person panel. And everything we're talking about with self-publishing now is what I'm going to be telling them is to do it yourself publishing panel at Boston Comics and Color Festival. So you're right. I just need to get in front of the right people.
Yeah, reach too. Yeah. Definitely the right people. Quality.
It's possible, man. It just takes a little bit of time, but once we get to that point, I know it's a wrap. I know it's a wrap because we know what we're talking about. It's evident, and we just want to help people, which is great. So it's just about now doing that and then getting it done.
That's true. Partnerships too, very important. Like if you can partner with someone that has like what you need, and then they kind of get what they need from you, then you can grow fast too that way.
You're right about that.
Especially on YouTube, if you look at a lot of the black YouTubers, I'm talking about like the vloggers, you know, teenagers and stuff doing crazy stuff like how hot am I challenges. They're all like the way they do it is like they'd have a new channel and then they'd collab with someone that has like a bigger channel, you know?
Exactly.
And then the fans would kind of like migrate a little bit and check out the new person. So that as well, that might even be more powerful than ads, right?
Word of mouth.
Paying someone that has like the exact base you need and collabing with them for the paying for the collab as opposed to advertising.
Yeah, this big what's that guy's name again? Tez talks about that. just going to like groups like either pages like Shade Room or ah
Yeah.
I forgot the business page, but Black Entrepreneur, something along those lines, and just going and paying them, and then you get shown off to their audience. It'll just save you so much time because then you're going direct. We Buy Black is another one. I'm getting the money together. I can't wait to be on We Buy Black because we do education and we do entertainment, and I feel that that's a hack. That's a hack, man. If you can educate your people, oh my. Now you can raise the price because I'm not just entertaining you. I'm providing another value, which is edutainment. Now I can charge whatever I want instead of just providing a product and it can only be, oh, you can't charge that much. It's only just a comic. Like our manga is literally $10 per chapter. Most manga is 7 chapters for $10. Blurred Over. Thank you so much for joining, King. And check him out. He's got an amazing page. And for everyone on YouTube and Facebook, thank you so much for being here. Like, comment, subscribe, share the live. Talking about the power of words and BCICF. But yeah, I even had an interview on Blurred Over. That was one of my favorites. It was just great. It was great because we able to just speak to people who are in this industry, in this niche of blurred, and be able to show them who we are. And like in Black Panther, when the mother said to T'Challa, "Show them who you are." I think that that's something we should all do. Don't just hide that greatness within you, that light. Show that light off, so that the world can see all around 215 artists. Thank you so much for joining. Show the light off. Show off that greatness within you, that one idea that's just burning in your mind, like I gotta release it. That you just get excited to wake up and do and go to sleep and do. You have to get it. And the whole reason why I'm like this, and going back earlier when we talked about should I just give a Bold Saga, I believe Bold Saga was a dream that came to me and it's meaningful because I remember what Denzel said. He said it's such a tragedy sometimes that, and people know this, the richest part of the world is not Fort Knox or anywhere else. The richest part on the planet is the grave because too many people have dreams and goals and they go to their grave without releasing it. And Denzel said that basically, how much of a tragedy is it to get to your deathbed? You're standing on your deathbed and all your dreams, which you never released, are standing around with you. And they're saying, look at this. They're pitying you. They're so mad because they were put in your mind and your imagination to be released. And now you're going to the grave and they go to the grave with you. And I don't want that to happen. That's why I'm going so hard day and night on this because I believe this is one of the major dreams. I would not, it'd be such a tragedy. And for anyone that's watching it to have a dream, have a goal that God gave you, that thing that's burning inside you, just, I'll do it next time, or, now is not the perfect time, or, I'm going through all these bad times and bad moments and this, that, and the third. No, no, no. You got to power through. You got to power through.
Well, you're definitely a hustler. I have a question, right?
Yeah.
Um, or maybe a suggestion. I don't know. I don't know.
No, say what you have to say, man. No worries.
I think, right? I think like black creators, and white creators could get into it too. But like people like you
Mhm.
and other people that are like doing things that are like not average should maybe be in a group, right?
Mhm.
Where we could all, discuss what's going on, what we're dealing with, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, is there a group like that out there?
You're talking about an inner circle, and I feel that we should have that as
Kind of,
creators.
yeah, exactly.
Because when you have an inner circle, you're able to have everyone come together in one area and be able to talk about all the things that you're doing and provide insights and tips and strategies to win. Because this is just, I've found it so true. The more things that you can find in your tool belt to help you win, it just changes the game. So you're right. We should start an inner circle. I don't know what it will be called, the mastermind or whatever it is. We'll think of it. But that is a great idea. I can think of a couple people off the top of my head. Like you would be one I'd be excited to be within. Juaso, people who are actually serious about this stuff.
Definitely, because if I know, oh man, just got the notification, Great Gale goes, he's up at 5 working on it. I gotta get up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it keeps everyone motivated. I mean, that's how I actually ended up learning animation.
Mm-hmm.
I started out in a Skype group 2011
Mm-hmm.
with 30 different people that
Mm-hmm.
wanted to learn animation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone would just wake up every day. Oh, look, he just watched Bleach. He just chased over the Bleach animation.
Mm-hmm.
He's learned this. Now he's explaining the concept of what he learned to the group, right? It's like you have 30 different people
Mm-hmm.
learning uh learning a craft, right? But they're learning different parts of the craft, like all of them. And then they all come back together and explaining like what they learned.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna progress so much faster than if you're learning solo. You know what I mean? And then when people like make their gifts, they make like their example for you to see the concept they're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
then you're motivated to, oh man, I gotta learn. Oh, these guys are progressing. I gotta progress. So I think we went from 2011 all the way to
Mm-hmm.
2014, and a lot of people moved on. I think three out of the group. One became a fan animator.
Mm-hmm.
One was he was pro.
Mm-hmm.
He was pro and worked on some major projects, but you know, he didn't have like a career. You know what I mean?
Mm.
'Cause sometimes it
Yeah.
could be an animation, you could work on a big project,
Mm-hmm.
but then once that project is over, like that's it. You
Mm.
know.
That's terrifying.
Um.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had like only three people came out of the group that are still doing it to this day. And I'm one of them. I'm one of the three. We
Wow.
started out as 30. Um. We lasted about 5 years, but we learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We learned a lot. So having like a massive group of creators, I
Mm-hmm.
think I think the YouTubers do it too. Logan Paul, like they have these what do they call it, YouTuber houses,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where they go and learn, they train together, they make videos, they figure out how YouTube algorithm, all that stuff works, and then they all share the info. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Oh,
So I think
definitely.
I think that'd be very powerful. Like that.
I think that's a great idea. That's something I will
Definitely.
definitely think about seriously because I have one system in place that I could house that. I have to like meet with you, test it out first, meet with you guys, and then see like what that would be, and then we have to vet who joins it. Not because we don't want everyone in there, but you have to be a certain level of not just mentality, but actually having something to show and sign off on NDAs and all type of stuff, so that people don't come in and feel like, oh no, now I'm got to take all the. Come on now, because we want to help
Yeah.
people. You always want to cover both bases. It's just what you're referring to. The closest thing I could think of it is Social Proof Podcast and the Morning Meetup. What these entrepreneurs do is every Monday through Friday, they get up at 7 o'clock and they read books. See, this is how rich people stay rich. Oh my! They read books, King, and then they learn the books and then they analyze the books. A book club basically, but it's a business book club. If mangaka and animators went into that type of stuff, like animator survival kit, and then reading other books on
Yep.
drawing, writing, all this stuff, because once you do that, you infuse your art with greatness, and you know why it's great. So when people are reading it, they're like, wow. Like when people read BOLDSAGA, like, oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, I know a book. I know the book that helped me get here. Oh, yeah, there's one, and then there was another one, and another one. So I feel that that is really great, and I feel that it would be a great service to the people because we would
I
share. And
think
what?
Discord might be a possible system because you could have like
Mm-hmm.
different groups on different levels, like different rooms, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it might be a room where anyone could get in that room,
Mm-hmm.
but then might be a higher room where only certain members are in that room. You know what I mean?
Almost
But then
like,
certain members
yeah.
still have access to the lower room, and they can
Mm-hmm.
still speak to people in the lower room. So um, it might be the best software for that. But yeah, definitely, man. I was looking. I've been paying attention, to your lives, to your content.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see you're someone that's like hustling. Like, you're banging it out every day, getting stuff done.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And you're so right. Even brand new Don said, "Hustle is his blood." You speak like you read .coms. I read .com secrets. I read Expert Secrets, and I read Traffic Secrets. And then I have the other book from Russell on 30days.com. I just have to finish reading that. Reading is powerful. Here's another reason why I believe what you're saying is right, Selflix. You notice that when animated TV shows come out that are based on books, the people that read the books are ahead of the people that watch the animation. It's the same thing in life. The more books you read puts you ahead of the general audience that's just watching the show because the book gives you parallels beyond. You get the experience before. So I feel that once we get into books, rooms, discussions, listening to experts, and we can share that among ourselves, we'd be able to help ourselves and our people thrive. And that's what I want us to do. I don't want us to just survive or just make it. I want us to thrive, prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. Like actually living the life that you want, not the life that they want you to live, not the life of fear and anxiety. We wanna win big and just live.
Definitely. If people don't want to read, what I do, I don't like reading. It strains my eyes,
Mm-hmm.
takes too much attention span.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just look up the audio book version, or I'll find a PDF, um, feed it into like a audio reader or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be listening to the book while I'm working.
Yeah,
You know?
that's a great way to do it. That's how I was able to cover so many books last year when I did the audio. Because at the end of the day,
Audio.
sometimes, yeah, man, sometimes you don't have the time to physically open up the book and read it, but if you can hear it. And one of the reasons why I like audiobooks to a degree, sometimes even better than a physical book on business, is that once I hear it, I can remember it to a degree better. That's just how my mind works. Like when I heard literally, what was it? One of my mentors mentioned it. It was Dr. Golden. He was like, if you're making under $20,000, throw away your TV. You're wasting your time. You need to find a system that can pay you so much money. You want to have money that has babies. You want to have pregnant money. All these type of analogies. I would have never heard of this stuff before. And he was basically talking about at the end of the day, every time you work a job, all you're doing is giving a lot of your time for a little bit of someone else's money. The job people know, the entrepreneurs, the business owners that hire people as employees know time is more valuable than money. So if they can save themselves time and give you a little bit of money, they're making so much more on the back end than you are. So it's benefiting them. So that I heard from the audiobook. I was like, wow, this man's on one. He's going off, but he's right. So different things like that. Have you ever heard of the Blue Ocean Strategy?
No, what is that?
Blue Ocean Strategy is a book by I think W. Chan Kim, and he's like, I don't compete with my competitors. I make them irrelevant. That's what we need to do. We don't need to just. I know you mentioned Netflix and you want to compete with them, but the bigger goal, one thing to add to it, is making them irrelevant. Be so great at what you do that they don't matter. And the best way to do that is to go into a blue ocean, which the book is about. Because a blue ocean is a native area that you are in that no one else is in, and you dominate that. Because red oceans are where the category kings are. Here's a simple red ocean example. Egyptian manga character or Egyptian black comic book superhero. You see how that's a red ocean because Black Sands is there. They got Midnight Comics with Soul. They got, Black Panther, which is basically an Egyptian comic since Bast is an Egyptian god. They just moved the location, but it's still Egyptian. All these things have been done already. But if you do something different, like you focus on King Izana of Aksum, or you focus on the Great Zimbabwe Empire, you focus on the Kingdom of Benin, and then you make that the core of your story. Even BOLDSAGA is based on Mutapa Empire. Then you change the game because now you're in a blue ocean. Ain't nobody doing this. That's the thing. You find a way to win, and then you become a category king in that area. It's hard to dethrone a category king, but it's so easy, so much easier to become one yourself.
Definitely. When it comes to Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I watch what they do so I can learn, but I definitely don't try to compete with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's unrealistic. You can't look at like a Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, if they want, they could green like a series that's just like mine and get it produced in like a month. You know what I mean?
So they have infrastructure.
I pay attention to everybody. I find out like what it is they're doing that's working, and then I try to absorb that. You know, like Pinterest, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was doing my research. I study traffic. Like that's one thing I study to see who's getting the most traffic online. Like when it comes to websites, you know, because I'm in the game now. And I was shocked to see that Pinterest was getting more traffic than most websites. You know, I don't know if you ever heard of Tubi. It's a streaming.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Tubi.
Free, right? They're getting more. They're getting like 10 times more traffic than Tubi. You know, and I'm like, yo, how is this happening? Then I go to Pinterest. I do some research and I find out like what it is they're doing. Is like anytime they find like a post that they like, say deviant art, say you just drew a picture of your hat, right? They have certain people that go in the embed that
Mm-hmm.
picture of your hat into Pinterest. Now, when people search the title for your work,
Mm-hmm.
the Pinterest comes up instead of like the original place you posted it, which
Mm-hmm.
is Deviant Art, right? So that's how they're able to do they're able to take traffic, and as long as you could as long as you post the source where you got the stuff from, it looks like it's legal, like to embed stuff into your website. You know,
Mm-hmm.
same with YouTube videos. I see World Star using the same technique.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm like, man, you gotta get that into the website. You gotta find out how if I like a piece of content, I want it to be embedded. We'll have our own title and our own view system, but then it'll link back. If they click on it, it'll link back to the website. So Pinterest is something I stopped using in like 2014.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting like it's getting 225 million views per month,
I'm telling you,
which is
man.
insane. Which is insane.
It's all about finding the best way to use the
Yeah.
technology for your benefit. That's how you do it. My dad is keep talking about in his business. He's trying to get back into Pinterest, and I like Pinterest for the fact it's the most positive place on the internet. Like they're not really with the nonsense. It's literally about beautiful art and amazing products. And you can comment if you want to, but it's literally about the beautiful art and the amazing products. It's a very nice place, and I feel it's only going to get bigger. And if people want to keep playing the algorithm game, I think places like Pinterest and Fanbase and other places are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger because people are getting tired of seeing algorithms. Like every time I think about it, when they said the post, like, oh yeah, people are so happy for this. I forgot where the man, what part either he's in the nations of Africa or in the diaspora, this African guy that had created the algorithm, helped do it for Instagram and all these other platforms. People are so excited that he did that. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, you're the one that did this. You're the reason why I don't get the same level of reach because now I gotta put out more content to do it. I'm like, it's crazy, but it's true. So it's just since they're gonna make it harder for us as time continues, you have to find a way to become better. Now with the YouTube verified, and not YouTube, IG verified, now they want you to pay money to be able to be seen to your own audience. It's crazy.
Yeah, the crazy thing about that too is that even if you pay it, it doesn't guarantee your audience is gonna grow.
Exactly. You still gotta have the
You know?
skill. But for the people that don't want to put in the work, mm-hmm.
Now they told me, you buy verified, we'll be sharing your account with like 20,000 people every month. Then I'd probably buy into it. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
And they verify it and they actually fulfill on what they said. Because at one point they said they were gonna pay
Exactly.
people on Instagram if you put up reels, they pay you a reels bonus. Now it looks like TikTok about to get shut down. They're like, nah, we're not giving you nothing. It's business, man, and business is all about leverage. So you got to find a way to get leverage. Whatever it is that you're doing, find a way to get leverage because these people know exactly what they're doing. So you got to know what you're about and what you're doing so you can get leverage.
Definitely. Yeah, man, all these algorithm things, crazy. That's why I don't try to fight it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just work on some, and when like a major development's coming out, I'll pay for the ads. You know?
Yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from because at the end of the day, they're going to keep doing
Mm-hmm.
what it is that they're doing. So you just got to find a way to just be better. Get into your own space, get into your own lane, and just be better. It takes time, but it's worth it. Because at the end of the day, if everyone is going the same way and people tell you should go the same way, it's too late then. It's better to just get to a place like what you're doing. You're creating your animations. You're actually showing like Haiti being animated, like with reverence. Like that's fire to me because I'm from the Caribbean. And when I went back to the Caribbean in after my grandfather died for his funeral, which is crazy,
Yeah.
I saw there was a party going on, and it was some type of something happening in Antigua. I kid you not. They had Superman on it. They had Batman, Iron Man, Spider Man, and no Antiguan heroes. I'm like, what? So you mean to tell me even in Antigua, you're still trying to appeal to what is bigger worldwide versus what is like celebrating your own people? Like, we can do better, and we have amazing creativity with us. We just got to celebrate it. And that's why I like what you guys are doing. You're celebrating culture.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna show you a preview before we get off here. I'll go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and start putting it right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think we just need to build our own stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to be online saying it. That's why I'm just doing it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I'm telling you, man, if we could get animation, like a great pipeline, like the thing I was telling you about,
Mm-hmm.
get your software like Moho, you're building your different views. If we could teach people in the islands that pipeline,
Mm-hmm.
they could then work for people all over the world, like be freelance animators all over the world, and be employed that way, right? Because that's the same thing they'll do in India.
Mm-hmm.
You have people in India, they become techies, then they'll get on Upwork, they'll get on Fiverr, they'll
Mm-hmm.
get on all those websites, and they're able to make like American dollars and then live wherever they live. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to, us that's here, like people that's made it, like Caribbean people,
Mm-hmm.
African people that's made it here, we have to find a way to help them figure it out as well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's how we're going to build our industries, and we're going to profit from that too, you know?
Exactly.
But say this, right? Say you own a company,
Mm-hmm.
and you're teaching those people those skills, right?
Yeah.
You're probably going to be the one going online to apply for those jobs, and then getting the people that have the skills like to do it, right? That way you're making it passive.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're giving them, I don't know, 70%, 80% of what was made,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you're keeping you're keeping that 20%, right?
Yes.
But that way you're helping them, you're making passive income,
Mm-hmm.
and they're being helped, and they're making top dollar. Like they're making a currency that they normally wouldn't have access to. So I think these are the kind of programs and stuff that we need to work on. And if we at least had like this group of people that are hustlers, you know,
Mm-hmm.
we could definitely work on joint projects like that together.
It's possible, man. It's
Because
just like.
it's not just anyone that could do it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know this man. Oh man, this dude's online like every week. Like he's hustling. Like you know what I mean? He's speaking. He's giving a speech. Oh shit! Like you know, I gotta get
Mm-hmm.
on it. I like that.
Thank you. And that's the thing about when you put in the work, you can't automate it. You can't like synthesize it. People, what's that phrase? Real recognize real. It's always going to be a fact. It's always going to be a fact. Anyone could just like use an avatar. I'm hearing people, business owners, like I'm going to use my digital avatar and do. That's nice and all, but like you need something real. Like I don't know if this is you, but anytime I'm like speaking on the phone and I'm trying to call customer service and I speak to a robot, I get so annoyed because one time I even tried to call someone, they're like, if you keep getting mad, I'm gonna hang up on you. I'm like, since when does someone have so much chat? The breeze needs, thank you so much for joining. I'm like, robots, zeros and ones, you told me you could hang up on me if I raise my voice again. Who you think you are? But that's how they're coding them now. They're coding them with an attitude now. So at the end of the day, it's always better to speak to a person, speak to people, because at the end of the day, people buy from people. Know, like, and trust. Just like how we have amazing artists here. I'm an artist. I'm a mangaka, BOLDSAGA. We got Studio, so we're talking to on IG. Breeze Needs is here. There's so many other amazing creators. Juasu is here. Concrete Eden even was here. So it's just show up, show out, and people can buy from what they don't see. So that's why we have to have these type of discussions, have these type of talks, because we have to show up. I found in person that wherever you show up, wherever that location is, you're able to do more. So that's why this year has been my prayer to just get more in front of people. Because once I speak to them, I know I can be able to reach them on one way or another, whether it's through the motivation, the manga, the education. We even got bars with hip hop, like, and that's in the book. I also rap. So finding a way to connect with your audience, be real, be righteous, be relevant, and actually connect with people. So I'm grateful, man. I'm looking forward to it. In the inner circle, I will have to discuss and follow up with you on that, on what's the best way. I know you mentioned one method. I have another method in mind. I would like to discuss that with you. Also add in Juaso and Brand New Dawn and just filter it and see. But it's possible because at the end of the day, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I feel a lot of people want to do what it is that we're doing, but they get afraid, like, I can't draw like this person. Or how am I going to pay for this? And how am I going to get this done? It's possible. And we can show you how. So stay on the lookout for that. And again, the whole reason why this discussion happened from the jump was BCICF is happening this weekend, Boston Comics and Color Festival. So if you're in the Boston area or nearby, please show up and show out. Like, Aletha Martinez is going to be there. Have you ever heard of her before?
No, who is she? I'm not tapped in with the people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of the guy that stays, like, I do my work,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if I'm ever like tapping in with people, it'd be someone that is good at doing that does it.
No problem,
like,
man.
You know how hard the animation is, so that's where I gotta be.
I understand, because I remember that last year. Perfect example was it 2022? Yes, 2022, 20. Yeah, I had an animation project. It slowed me down for months. So I understand what you're talking about by not being connected sometimes, because you have to do what works best for your interest in finishing what it is you said you're going to do. Aletha Martinez is a legend. She's been drawing with Marvel, DC. She has her own style. Her how she creates reminds of how you create, like people that are just serious about it and go all in, but they're willing to learn from other people and implement it into their style. She was the person who I learned one of my favorite quotes from. If you wanna hunt, learn how the big dogs hunt. She was the one that said before you get anything released, trademark and copyright it. DC, Marvel, everyone does it. She put us on game in this discussion from Schaumburg back in 2020. So she's gonna be there at Boston Comics and Color Festival. They're gonna have panels. They have the Nia dance troupe. This guy's playing a violin that's gonna be there. They got an Afrofuturistic showcase. The violin performances by Frederick Woodward. They got a show floor, so they got the artist alley where all the artists are gonna be. I'm gonna be in there, and I have a panel with David Cronson, Calvin Chambers, Javier Cruz Winnick, and I'm gonna be there. We're gonna be talking about do-it-yourself publishing, because at the end of the day, formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. I love that quote by Jim Rohn, because it's true. What you learn on your own, outside of people telling you, maths and English, what you learn on your own opens up doors of wealth for you. So we're going to be having that discussion 2 to 3 p.m. And Boston Comics and Color Festival is going to be from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that's going to be this coming Saturday, Kings and Queens. So look forward to seeing you there. And thank you so much for spending time here, Selflix. I appreciate it, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing everything you guys are doing. I'm going to shout you out as much as I possibly can, because we need more Black creators, man. We're tired of seeing the Miracles and, the Killer Bees and, all these other people who are creating characters. We need more people that are creating like you, like Dark Stagio, other people that are Black animators, Black creators who are authentically putting out quality content.
Yeah, I'm getting something ready for you. Like, I want to show you this.
No worries.
Of it's just loading right now. Hold on.
You're welcome, Brand New Don. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Still loading, but
no worries. Quality, nice.
That's a Valdir. The Valdir guy,
Nice. I see the quality. Your art is incredible. I love animation. That's why I love video games at first, because I love things that move. Got into manga just to get started, but at one point there will be an animation, and I can't wait. And I love seeing things like this because it's just inspiring to me, man. Like, so cool.
Yeah, it's loading. I'm sorry.
No worries.
It's actually based in Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make a story that basically covers like the issues going on there.
Yeah.
But I was a fan of like battle monster stuff, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, stuff like that. So it has some of that in there.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I noticed that's the most profitable IP. So
you did your research. You did your research. I respect it. That's why in chapter 3 and 4 of BOLDSAGA there's animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. That's the big thing. That's why I need more.
I noticed that you noticed those patterns. I'm like, yo, this is smart.
That's the hack kings and queens. Yes. I do the research. I study, and that's how you show yourself approved. Study, get into the rooms and look at what people are doing. Blue Ocean idea sparked an idea. See, that's what I'm talking about. Get in the room, kings and queens. Look at what people are doing that are winning. Like, ooh, so Pokemon is worth 100 billion, eh? How you draw that face? How you draw that eye again?
All right, so let's see if I could read you the synopsis for this project.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second.
No worries, King. I'm not rushing.
Right. All right, if I send it to you, will you be able to read it? Or?
Yeah, I can read it. Send it via the DM feature or right in the comment, which is easier for you.
Hold on.
No worries.
It's tricky because I think if I click off the live, does it go off live?
It might. It might.
Okay.
That's one of the things I noticed with live is it's very fickle. That's why I like have my phone or my laptop with me. So if I need to send something, that is something I can do. I mean, if you can log into your IG on your laptop, you might be able to send a message that way. That way it could like not throw you off of this one.
I got you.
Yeah, just a thought.
Smart.
Thank you. I try and help people as much as I can because we all need help, man. No one knows it all. People that pretend to know it all always end up getting showed out. I ain't trying to have that happen.
You know, for how long I've been drawing for like maybe, ever since I was little, but seriously, like for like let's see, 10, for like a decade and some change, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like people get egotistical, but as soon as I saw the value, dude,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, I don't know shit. I don't know anything.
Telling you.
With that man, like, I gotta see, yo, how is he doing this? I gotta get the technique. So once I connected with him, he's like, hey, Bob, I can send you my files, pay me this, right? And then I observed this technique, I practiced, sent them to him, and he was like, oh my God, like what? Like 2 weeks, right? And I'm like, yeah, bro. It's like I had to go learn that. I had to put my pride aside, put the style, like whatever I knew, I had to put that aside and go get the superior quality. You know?
That's it.
And that's just how you climb ahead.
Exactly. Humility to realize there's a gap that I don't know. Let me go and find out what that gap is and then learn it. Yeah, man. Like that's what I had to do. Even what I do at Great Gill. I realized my business is good, but I need it to be phenomenal. So who can I go to? Premier ticket offers, reading books, finding a lot about funnels, and then utilizing that type of strategy for my benefit and then implementing it. Because it's one thing to learn, it's another thing to apply. And I love the fact that you're applying. It's remarkable.
Definitely, because I don't train at all. Like I don't practice at all. But like for maybe 2 weeks in a year, I'll just train during that time. Like I learn better that way than like training every day and trying to learn over time. If I gotta learn something, I'll just go and I'll invest the 2 weeks, put in 10 hours a day, and then I'll have mastery in no time. Because the longer you take to do it, the more tiring it gets, the more you might get distracted. So it's kind of like Pokemon. You start that game out, you want to just sit there in that grassy area and you want to level up, right? And then you go fight. Instead of like having to struggle through like every fight. So even things I learn in games, I'll do it like in business. Sometimes like I'll play games and I'll watch like the way I behave in the games or like the way my strategy, like I'm like, yo, I can use the same strategy like in business.
Yes.
Sometimes you gotta do something else to figure out.
Yes.
Like how to do what you're doing better.
Yes.
You know?
That's why people saying, oh yeah, I saw this guy on TikTok talking about, oh yeah, you're not really serious about your life and your goals. You know, stop wasting time, stop procrastinating, stop playing video games. Stop playing video games. Hush your mouth. Hush your mouth. You know what you're talking about? Video games are one of the most powerful assets when used properly. Nowhere else can you fail and keep failing and then win. And you can do it from a safe space. Like if you fail in a game, there's no like bodily harm that comes to you. So you can build up that fail tolerance high enough so that you can win. It builds a mental thicker skin, like Super Mario, World 8, saving Peach, and they got the lava all over the place. And, oh crap, I can't just run. I gotta strategically think, how am I gonna get through this? So much of games can be translated to life. You're so right. That's why I hustle so hard, because I used to play Jack. I used to play them old school video games before they got like easier, like but not too much Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot, that's another level. But like old school Mario, old school Jack and Daxter, old school Tekken, the old school games, it just changes how you think, and then you win in the game of life.
Exactly, exactly. Because I'm noticing when I get in a game, I'll level up like super fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Super fast. And even people that's been there, like I'm in a game right now. It's
Mm-hmm.
called X Heroes. It's just a mobile game. It's a
Mm-hmm.
mobile game I played.
Nice.
And there was a guy I started. He was at 1 million power, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's been there for like 2 years. I've been there for like maybe a few months. I'm at 6 million power. You know? So I'm like, yo, if I'm killing it like that in the game, right? There's no reason I can't apply the same thing like to business or to
Mm-hmm.
animations.
Exactly. It's all connected. It's all about finding out what works
Exactly.
and then utilizing it for your advantage. Just like how the what do you call it, Iron Man exoskeleton was just in the movie like 10 plus years ago, even before that. And then people have actually found ways to build it in real life with cybernetics and making things move with your mind and like making repulsors and jetpacks. So people think it's entertainment until it becomes reality.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. That's why I love entertainment, because it gives you an opportunity to see what the future can be like and then go out and do it. It's so remarkable.
Exactly, because what you might learn in one field could apply to
Mm-hmm.
another field. You know, like I learned the efficiency of animation
Mm-hmm.
by working at a restaurant.
Wow.
I don't work there now. That's like from 20,
Mm-hmm.
2030, maybe 2013, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's like the level of efficiency you need to have to like manage a kitchen and work multiple, make food, take the food to the customer,
Mm-hmm.
come back, do dishes,
Mm-hmm.
make sure the area where you're making the food is clean. I apply the same things, like the same logic to my processes in
Mm-hmm.
animation. Because I just noticed like, wow, I'm fast at this, like I'm great at this job, right? I had
Mm-hmm.
to learn and like work hard to be able to do this. And I'll just apply the same processes, the same steps, same logic, you know?
Exactly.
So, oh yeah, I sent you the synopsis so you could read it.
Okay, let me just pull it up. It should be loading right now. Okay, here we are. Messages. Ah, there we go. Perfect. I can see it now. Here it is. Reverence. I'll try and read it in my narrative voice. In a world. I'm just kidding. Reverence. After Haiti's 2010 earthquake, Silas, the sitting president, faces a daunting challenge. Foreign forces steal the country's relief fund, prompting Silas to turn to mining the land for natural resources. Deep under the soil, they discover a portal to a mystical world beneath Haiti, home to powerful creatures known as animists. Silas sets his sights on capturing the animists and reviving Haiti's economy. This is Reverence. Awesome,
Yeah.
man. Awesome. This is gonna be big. This is gonna be big because too many people have seen all these other animations and all these other stuff with Japan, Demon Slayer, One Piece, Naruto. But when you get back to it, it's like, what do we have as people? Oh, we got reverence. And I love how Castlevania looks. And you said you're inspired by that, so it's like I can't wait to see. And I think I've seen part of the trailer for Genesis X. So like Kings and Queens, when he says he's an animator, he's not talking about it, he's doing it. That stuff is fire. That's real fire. Like fire. It's dope. They ain't an emoji big
Yeah.
enough for that type of fire.
Yeah, when it comes to Castlevania, not
Mm-hmm.
like I'm scratching at home. Oh my god, I love Castlevania. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an
Mm-hmm.
okay story. But I'm inspired by it in the sense of like it's like when you see something and you're like, I know I can do that if I try, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
That's how I was motivated by it. I know I could at least the art quality, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could kind of match that. So And then when I saw Vladimir, I'm like, oh, he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he was like the portal. He was a portal to that quality. I'm like, okay, so now
Exactly.
I just have to find out what he's doing, and then I got it.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. That's why it's so good to be in the place of people who are willing to help you on your journey. Because sometimes people keep thinking if they hoard everything, they'll be wealthy and they'll be great. But it's like by sharing things, you actually empower people and it helps you. Because what someone said, they said your bank account is a reflection of how many people you help. So the more people you help with, like Vladimir with his style, when you're talking about like inner circles and what you've done with what you create with reverence and Celtics, all this stuff is to create, to empower, all that, man, all of it, and I love to see it. So yeah, you like that, and you saw that they did it, and you're like, if they could do it, I can do it too. I love that mentality. That's how winning is done. I love it. Not just saying,
Since he's accessible,
mm-hmm,
I'm then like, okay, so now I could access him
mm-hmm,
and figure out what the process is, because it's not about ego.
mm-hmm,
It's not about sitting down and struggling for like 4 or 5 months
mm-hmm,
and figure out, oh, how do I get to that? I have to train. I have to be better than Vladimir. No, I could just go to
mm-hmm,
Vladimir, find out what settings and resolution and all that stuff that he's using,
mm-hmm.
and then do it in 2 weeks. You
Exactly.
know, because the main thing that matters is the project that the style is being applied to, not the style itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly.
so it's like when you're doing art, when you're being an artist,
Mm-hmm.
like your focus has to be in the right place too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, am I just gonna sit and draw my OC all day, or do I have a story to work on and stuff?
Mm-hmm. The OC's got to stop and the story's got to come forward because only for so long can people just see you drawing your character designs all over the place versus like embedding them in a world that you own. Because you can't protect an
Mm-hmm.
OC. I feel so sad for people that don't come to this realization sooner. Your OC is not protected. He's just out there. But once he's in a world and you give the world
Exactly.
a name, now you're cooking with gas.
Exactly. Oh, he said, let's see. I have a good friend
Hmm.
at Chris Olsen. He is from Haiti. If you need some help, check him out.
Nice.
Check out his. Cool.
Great, brand new done.
So you know what the animists are, right? Like the animists, they're kind of like the new Pokemon, but they're meaner, they're tougher. They're gonna crush. They're gonna crush those gangs in Haiti, right? And
Yes.
that's going to be like our Pokemon. We're gonna be selling like whatever, the cards, the game, the shirts,
Hmm.
and it's gonna be a real movement that supports Haiti.
Hmm.
And some of those profits, we're gonna help people in Haiti, especially farmers. You gotta find out like the right spots to help that. Because if you're just giving money,
Hmm.
you can give money forever. But if you put it in the right place, like you invest in the farmers
Yeah.
and stuff, then they could help. They could help the people. They could educate the people. There could be more teaching going on, that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. So that's the reason that project was designed. That's why I designed it. And then the platform in general, it's to give people to have projects like a space to do it.
Hmm.
Because you could go to Netflix with your thing, and if it's not enough, or if they feel like we don't like that vibe,
Hmm.
it's like if you can't make it into the big networks, what are you gonna do? Like give up your dream? You know, you
I
know.
hate when that happens,
So
man. It's sad.
and then you can make it, and then be canceled like Aaron Magruder, right?
Hmm.
They canceled the Boondocks. So they're like, we're done with this. It's taking too long. You
It's
know?
tragic. It's like what they did with Symbiotic Titan. I love that show. It was popping. It
Oh
was
man, that
doing.
was a good show.
Oh, I
That was a
bought both.
great
I
show.
was like, where's the next season? It was the
Bro,
closest.
that was so different. That was
Oh.
so different. Like it didn't feel American. It didn't
Hmm.
feel China. Like it didn't feel American or
It
Japanese.
felt like its own thing. It was its own lane, and the
Yeah.
animation was so. I feel so sad watching it because I bought both seasons before they took it off. I bought both seasons. Like this thing is popping. Like this is about to be the next big thing. Like how they had the different mechs. Like there was Newton. I forgot the prince's name and the soldier's name and the princess, and it could merge. And then they were dealing with like actual things people were going through. He applied what manga and anime used for his benefit, the Gakuen high school drama, but he put it with mechs like Dexter. It's brilliant. The fact it didn't blow up is because Cartoon Network's being backwards. It's stupid as hell. But he's winning regardless, and maybe someday he can get the rights back for it. Because you're right, it's sad when you come so far, make an idea, it's on a network, and then out of nowhere they're like,
and then boom, canceled, shelved, and you can't do anything about it.
yes, it's so sad, man. That's why I encourage everyone, whatever it is that you're creating, whatever it is that you're doing, find a way to own the IP, the intellectual property. We talk about in 7 Steps to Create Your Dream Manga series, own your IP. And brand new Don says I have to save some data. I'm at work, unfortunately. Thank you for the great stream. You're welcome, King. You're welcome. And this is just the beginning, man, because we're doing this. We're on YouTube, Facebook, as well as IG. At one point, God willing, I'm gonna get into Twitch and streaming because I love gaming. So having discussions like this with gaming and everything else. And you know what's funny, King? It's so amazing that you talk about Pokemon with the animus because just last night I was playing a game called Nexomon, which is basically like Pokemon but not. You play Nexomon?
Yo, I played it, bro. I played it. Matter of fact, I'm on number 2.
You're on Extinction, yes.
Yeah, bro. That IP. It's like it's a timeless IP.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be done 100 times and it'll still be profitable. People will still want it. I mean, I rarely pay for games and that kind of stuff, right? But I have to pay that 99 cents.
Yeah.
That's what it costs to get it, right?
Yes. I just did that yesterday as well. Yeah, I just got into it.
If you got that lizard, like, get that lizard.
Mm-hmm.
The lizard, it looks like some kind of, what are those lizards that turn invisible?
Chameleon.
It looks like some kind of chameleon, but it's black.
The black and purple one?
Yeah, I think. Get that one. That's a pretty strong one.
Nice. I definitely do.
But I'm telling you, like, the storytelling, the art, man, is just great, you know? And it's softer. It has a softer tone. Like, the art is softer than what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to find out, okay, I like that Nexomon vibe, right? How can we get it just a little bit? Like, just a little bit in there.
Exactly.
You know?
You're right, King. You're definitely right about that. Look at what people are doing that are winning. And Colas Creative, thank you so much for joining. This live was originally about BCICF, which is Boston Comics and Color Festival, is going down this Saturday, the 29th, 10 to 5 p.m., and it's going to be in Boston. Check it out. We're going to have a panel there talking about do-it-yourself publishing, and we expanded the live up to doing and getting into the power of words and creativity. And now we're talking about Nexomon and animation and how we can interconnect what is successful IPs and strategies, the monster taming, trading, and implement it into our stories. Because Pokemon's worth 100 billion. So you know what that means. This is very profitable and it works. Because you're appealing to children. And if you appeal to the children, you're going to get the family and the parents and everyone can enjoy the content together. So kudos to you doing that. I'm playing Nexomon right now, and it's so crazy we're talking about this because it's like it's right on time, right on point. In chapter 3 and 4, BOLDSAGA, that's where I got the idea of it. Like literally, there's an animal enemy in the book, you know, that they have to fight, and then there's like these type of like what's the thing, hyena type of animals that they have to fight as well in the book. So you see how it's gonna correlate and connect, like
exactly, man. We're on the same wavelength, you know. I just noticed that. I'm like, oh, bro, he's saying all the right things. He's reading the right books, you know.
Exactly.
Look, we have like the same mindsets. All right, I'm gonna try to show you the preview now. But the quality is gonna be at quarter. It's gonna be a quarter of what it actually is. Because I'm still in After Effects and things haven't been rendered.
That's totally fine. Trust me, animation. I understand where you're coming from. No worries.
Okay. Let's see if it's possible. Maybe I'm too low. I don't know.
No, I can see the screen. Can you see the screen, Kings and Queens? All right, good. Yeah, I can see the screen.
This is what we do.
Mm. Do you see this, kings and queens? Self-flicks. Rise of the Animist. Yes. May you prosper, be in good health, and make billions. Oh my gosh. Professional quality, professional animation. See how they had the lighting? Oh my, the logo, look, man, more power to you, man. And Colas Creative says we call it, he has a dope monster game idea, still in the process of tweaking it. I played next to him myself, and I was addicted when I first got it. It's a little limited, but I think it's a halfway decent Pokemon. Yes, it is a halfway decent one. I respect that too. But this is why I love these type of discussions, because we're able to just talk about things that can actually help people win. Being in this industry, you have to find a way to get to your target audience and let them see something in your story that they can appreciate and just quickly relate to. It's so easy to relate to something like that. Animal type of things, you don't have to get into like people saying that, oh, it's black or white descendant. That people love their pets. It's just people love their pets when you have pets in your story. Speaking of which, there was a game called Velospark. I think that's what it's called on Apple. Have you ever heard of it before?
No, not that one. Let me see.
It's Velo something. It's on the Apple App Store. Something with Vel. Oh God, either that or Velspark. Something like that. I think that's the name of the game. Basically, it's like Monster Tamer, but you ride the back of the animal. I don't know if you ever seen that type of. It's a great idea because then you can connect the whole I'm a monster trainer with I'm a warrior with the monster. I forgot what it was called.
Hey, I definitely have to find it. I study every one of them. Every one of them. Find out what's good about it. See if I could, get my piece of that.
Exactly. All you need is a slice, man. A slice of your own lane, and then you just do that.
And here's the quality. Here's like the full art quality, right? Because I rendered it only at quarter, so you'll get to see and the parts that aren't colored. That's what I'm working on right now, like as we speak, Look, hold on. This guy is just like he's one of the shooters, That's the problem. You have like gang issues, so I'm putting that in the story. And then we have the Clintons in the story.
Nice. Connecting it directly into it.
Right?
Nice.
That history out there, man. But I'm gonna cover, like, put that shadow. That shadow they have in One Piece where it covers their houses.
Yeah.
Just so people don't say, "Oh, you're using our likeness." That kind of stuff.
Yeah, you don't want name, image, likeness issues. Nah, man.
Exactly. Right. But we're putting that history out there, so it's like when I hear you talk about your story, and you're like, Zero John, I'm like, yo, how does he know about that?
Because I looked it up. Yeah. I wanted to make sure, because so many people, I'm going to put black people in the story. Are you really? Or are you just trying to do the whole, we have black faces, but they're really Japanese people, they're quote unquote black people. We need more authentic stuff. Like what Colas Creative is basically saying. He's like, definitely, bro, at some point I want to get your course so I can get my game idea into a manga. It'll be a little while, but that'll be the move once I get a few more books out and at least one comic. One thing I can help you, King. I know that the manga just live course is at 1,500 right now, but we made 7 steps to creating your dream manga series as an introductory item. So you can get that for $20 and learn how to make your own manga cover to cover for just 20. Like literally, I brought it down so that people can get access to start. And what I do is I show you how to make your first chapter. So it's something to consider. You can check it out, get it, and tell me what you think. It's 20. And we go over the 7 steps you need and using them to your benefit, not for everyone else's benefit, for your benefit, for your family's benefit. But yeah, man, I appreciate what you're doing, and I want to see more of that, because people like to say all this foolishness about Caribbean islands, about Haiti, about Antigua, all this nonsense. Come on now, stop it. But that's what happens when you're I don't be rude and say uncultured. When you are ignorant of what these people have actually done, what these cultures have actually accomplished. Every people has an accomplishment and a culture and success, and stories like this are incredible because you're showing that in a different light. The fact they have the animus, oh man, that's popping, man. Pray that it blows up. But I'm gonna have.
More of the quality.
It's a what?
More of the quality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to show you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else. Especially like this shot right here.
Yeah.
Bro, we went hard on this one.
Oh
Look
man. That's deep. That's love, man. That's what happens when you love what it is that you're doing. You're not just out here just trying to get the profit and get the bag, but actually loving what it is that you're doing.
And then here we had to rep the flag, you know.
Not, of course. You have to do it.
Desk, we got it in the middle. It's like a
nice
section, you know.
Nice.
Forgot I had. What was I gonna tell you? Yeah, Pokemon, but they don't have a Caribbean version, so I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it, right?
You have to do it. You have to do it because at the end of the day, if they don't, what will happen is that they'll just make their own version and put it there, and they still won't do it properly because they don't care to celebrate a culture. They care to make money. And Colas Creative, thank you so much, bro. I sent the link to your actual DM, so you can check your DM and you'll be able to see it later. But yeah, you need to do it. The closest I can think of like Caribbean representation and animation is Mighty Grand Piton. You ever seen that one?
Yeah, I love that. I like that one. But that one, that was just like an experiment he did. He never he didn't intend to do an actual show. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like it's dead, and it's unfortunate because that was really good. In fact, that inspired me too.
Hey, that inspired me. You know, when I saw the trailer for Mighty Grand Piton with Saint Lucia and the mechs and the girl there and they're speaking the actual language, the part that really stuck out to me is like when they're driving down the road and you see the colorful buildings and like, yep, that's town. That's a town area of the Caribbean. But then when they had the giant mosquito, I'm like, this person has lived in the Caribbean. Them mosquitoes are demons. Forget about demons. Those are the true demons of the earth. Mosquitoes. Them boys are evil. So when he had them fighting the giant mosquito, I'm like, yes. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that it's dead in the water. But you know why it's a blessing still, though? Because you can learn as you've learned from them so that you don't end up in the same situation where they did. You're not doing an experiment. You're doing a series. And more power to you.
Exactly. Let's see. I like that character. They had that character, that guy wearing the glasses. He was standing in front of like this thing and grabbing like this yellow thing from the Grand Mighty Python.
Yeah.
And that inspired like my minister like in the show.
Nice.
You know?
See.
They don't look alike, but definitely inspired.
I can tell you did your research, man. That is what I love hearing people do their research because it allows you to stand out from the crowd. You're not just, oh yeah, they made Naruto, so I'll make a character called Haruto. You know, instead of a 9-tailed fox, it's a 10-tailed cat or 10-tailed rat or something. Like you're not trying to come too close to what already exists. You do research and then you add in cultural representation. I love it. Not just diversity, representation, because it's real. It's real.
Exactly. And when things blow up, my message to everyone is going to be this, right? I wish I could wake up and watch like shows that are about people's countries so I can learn about their countries instead of just like everyone trying to make like Japanese like anime. You get what I'm saying? I mean, how much more productive would that be, right? If we could watch animation from all over the world and being able to learn about people's cultures that way.
Exactly, because then it would like combat ignorance if the person actually applied it to their life. Because then you can be like, so this is what these people have accomplished. So this is why it's like that.
Exactly. Because I remember when Trump was like, well, blah blah, Haiti's a shithole country. Trump doesn't know anything. He didn't know anything about Haiti at all. He didn't know Haiti was the first Black independent country, the first people to revolt and get rid of slavery. He didn't know that, you know, these white powers have been undermining Haiti ever since they've been free. He didn't know like the history. He didn't know the Clintons had a hand, you know? And that's what I'm showing like in some of the show.
Exactly.
Like no one's asking where did the what was it, $6 billion?
Just go to.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
The
boy.
Clintons. Those are the
I'm
Clintons.
telling you, man. Stuff is ridiculous.
Exactly.
I can't wait for a day when we just have like better on all levels. Better in like society, better as people. Don't have to be looking down on the people based on what happened.
I think we have to do it
Mm-hmm.
because the previous generation, they
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the technology, they didn't have the tech, they didn't have the connection like we have
Yeah.
now. So now we have to be the people that get that done.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying, the whole thing of connecting them to the right jobs. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, once we do that, once we create more amazing content, because content is king right now. It's the oil of culture right now. Just content. Once we do that and we connect people to the right people, connect them to the right content, it'll change lives. Like there have been times when I've watched shows and it literally, shows can literally and content can literally have an impact on you. When I was tired as a kid, I watched Winnie the Pooh. When I was gassed up and energetic, I'd watch parents put on Winnie the Pooh. I fall asleep. As an adult, I watched Christopher Robin the movie, fell asleep again because it's calming. Like that's the power of good content. Like you'll actually feel it. Like there's parts in BOLDSAGA where one character yawns. Every time I read the book, I can't explain it, but I always yawn. So it's just like you have to be able to create content that just speaks to people's hearts so that it evokes an emotion. Because that's what we need. Stuff that's alive, content that's alive. Colas Creator said, there's something I talk about a lot on my that's something I talk about a lot on my channel. We need real representation, autonomy, and great ideas made and controlled by blacks, not full representation, blackface in high places. Mr. Gong, thank you for joining, and you're so right. You're so right. I think the problem is we as black people have been too caught up for the last couple of generations as implementers, as people that work with our hands to get things done. I even hear people like Dr. Umar said that if everything goes down with college, you need to get your kids into trade schools and different things like that so they can work with their hands. While that sounds like practical wisdom, the real thing you should be doing is finding what it is that you've been called to do as a person and then finding a way to systemize it so that you don't have to do it yourself forever. Because if you're just working by your hands all the time, if something ever happens to your hands, you as an asset become a liability now. But if you have systems in place, then you don't have to be worrying, like, okay, this didn't work, but I still have this, and this. Like Inky Johnson. Have you ever heard of him before?
No.
Inky Johnson was a famous, he's a professional football player. Worked all his life to get there. Him and his family were in poverty, and he finally got to the top. Finally got to the NFL. And then what happened? He had one situation where someone ran a play and they tackled him, landed on his arm, and destroyed like all the nerves in the arm to the point they had to put other nerves from other parts of his body so that he could like even be somewhat able to move it. And what happened is they had to stop the game. I think his team won, but from that point on, he lost access to move his right arm a lot. Like he still wears a bandage to this day. And where some person can be like, oh no, his life is over, his dream and his goal, everything he worked for in his life is done. What he did was he's turned it around. He didn't give up and he got into motivational speaking. And now he's one of the best, or number two, I think, two or three, as best motivational speakers on earth. Because when you can go through trauma and you can find a way to win in the midst of it, just like Caribbean Island, just like anyone, if you have been put down by someone or something or some institution and you find a way to turn it around to your benefit, it's magnificent. And that's what we need to encourage more of our people to do. Don't look at your problems as problems. Look at your problems as opportunities for change.
Definitely. I think one good book too I want to recommend. Maybe they know it already.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty common book. I think it's called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and he basically taught what assets are
Mm-hmm.
and liabilities. So it's like as soon as you could buy some kind of asset, that's really gonna help. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it could be something simple. You like mangas, you buy a website like I don't know, Kiss Manga or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they run ads all day and they already have the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or it could be something simpler, like you buy like a lawnmower and you rent it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like assets and making money, and you need multiple assets.
You do. Master one and then you grow up. Another thing I'm going to get into as time progresses is I'm going to get into the events-based system because I feel that with events, that's another topic for another day. But briefly, if you can find in-person locations to do events, it's so much better than just being online. Not that we don't like online, not that I'm not enjoying having this discussion, but if you're in person, you know how when you talk to someone in person, it just feels different than just texting them or video chatting?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Definitely.
People, your customer and your target audience can like relate to you on a faster level when you're in person. It's amazing. And just being in the room, you just feed off that energy faster. Not that you can't have it online, you feed off of it faster. So if the room is gassed up and you're gassed up, it's like, wow. That's why movies are so great, because when you watch it and you're all having a shared experience, oh man. And networking as well. So I'm looking into the event-based system as time progresses. But I'm gonna have to go now because I gotta finish this book. And this week I have like a couple more books and an audiobook I plan to release all before Boston Comics and Color Festival. So for everyone that's
Mm-hmm.
watched on this live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, I just want to say thank you for joining. Thank you for being here and look forward to more amazing content from Great Gale. Until next time, keep winning, kings and queens. Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
Peace.